You're on mute.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lapeef Sundays. I almost said Lapeef Sports, but we changed it now. It's Lapeef Sundays. Seeing how the direction was going, I think it was appropriate to adjust. And that's how we do, right? For the people that's tuning in, welcome to the show. We definitely appreciate you guys. Let me introduce the panel. We got Kelly, Amber, Avon, Hink, Lady, Jay, Courtney, Michelle, and me, myself, Lapeef Jr. So welcome to Lapeef Sundays. Lapeef Sundays. That's my video. Is it okay? Is it kind of digital a little bit?
No, you good.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right, let's get the show started, man. But before we do, shout out to the sponsor, T Shanley. Make sure you guys click that link that's in the description. Get yourself 30% off along with a free gift. And yeah, let's go ahead and start. So last time when we talked, we had the discussion about Patrice, which is one of the co-founders of the Black Lives Matter. So some more information came out. It was actually Candace Sad. She clapped back, so I thought that we should kick it off just to see how that went real quick. And I do have that video.
This morning, I woke up to Candace Owens being outside of my house with a news crew. She was demanding that I come outside.
Hello. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property because it's listed as the Black Lives Matter property. Sir? Hello?
The fact that she's came outside my house and demanded things, harassed me, is unacceptable.
We're not trying to harass you. We'll gladly leave. We're just wondering if we can speak to anybody.
Y'all, I really need my family to be safe. I need to be safe. I need my child to be safe. And this, what happened this morning is not safety.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Well, no, that was Candace side. It looks to be very different from the video that we've seen. I know some of you guys probably have seen it, but if not, that was your first opportunity there. So it looked like she might have been full of shit. And typically that's something that we see when people get caught up, right? And now we start to become this victim. So let's go ahead and briefly discuss this and talk about it. What are you guys' thoughts? Have you guys seen the video? Is it your first time seeing that portion of it? And even if you saw it, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't see this video, but last week when you actually posted Candace's version, I kind of figured that this was going to happen, and that we were going to see both sides, and that, she was going to pretty much debunk the whole feeling unsafe, being harassed thing. But it's just funny, man. Funny and sad at the same time, because this is why people are just like making, I don't know, it's sad. It's like you on the one hand, for me, I was like, I don't want to not think about the fact that she could potentially feel unsafe or whatever. But on the other hand, it's like, again, the tears weren't for what she was saying they were for. So
All right.
That was comical. Sorry. I busted out laughing the first time I saw it and just now. I'm sorry. I went to school for acting, so I feel like that was like the worst acting job ever. That's all I'm going to say. It's like crocodile tears. That's all I have to say.
So if you go to school for acting, or if you are an actor or actress, 9 times out of 10, you carrying it over into your real life. Is that what I'm
Do
hearing?
you?
I'm asking you. You went to school for acting?
No, you separate it. It's like when you're when you're doing a show or a commercial, you become that person for the show, but it's like your job. Once you're off, you become your real self at home.
Okay, I only brought that up because I heard people referencing that point when it came to Will Smith and Jada Smith. So, that was one of the things that was going out there saying, the actors what they paid to do. So, anyhow, let's get back on track. What are your thoughts about it, Hink?
I didn't come out a little bit later on that day, or after we did our show, that, or maybe it was the next day that, as she admitted, was some wrongful doing. I mean, hot damn. I mean, somebody's gonna get shown they was a liar. Somebody's gonna get proven wrong, regardless. It was gonna be a matter of time. And so it just showed that, old girl she full of shit. She been a full of shit the whole goddamn time for me.
And she
So,
took her video down. Now
oh,
it's
I'm
not
sure
even
she
up
did.
anymore.
Man, her pride is gone. What else could she do? She's looking more and more like a fraud, man. The whole organization is a fraud. So I'm not surprised by all this shit is going on. The hell with
You
this
say a
thing.
fraud or frog?
Fraud, fake, not
Or
real.
both?
Shit, bullshit.
The crazy part about this is, in her mind, she might legit feel unsafe because there are different standards of safetyness depending on who you are. There's some people that live in communities where all the houses are $1 million and up, and if they see a squirrel running down the street, they feel threatened. Then you got some people that live in the hood of the hood. They can have somebody across the street loading a gun and they wouldn't even blink. So, it just kind of depends on perspective of safety. And, but the idea that someone came to her door threatening her, man, she, you know what? I think in her mind, she actually really believes she's in danger because someone had the audacity to approach her. It's the safety of, I'm starting to really believe who I am, and how dare you challenge me? That destroys a person's bubble that they live in, and now they feel she might legit feel unsafe in her mind. Is she unsafe? Hell no. Ain't nobody coming to that house but Amazon. But
I think it's almost like a baby, like when a child's getting a beating, like they know they've been bad. You grab that one arm, and you might, if you do this, you might give a slight lick, and they act like you literally killed them, like they on fire. It's that situation, yo. Like when you're in trouble, like you overreact, and that's what it was. And also, I think she was sending coded language to her people, her community, because that she said that in the video, my community, and we know that her community isn't us. You know what I mean? She was sending the language, and then she used the language. Next time, it could be more violent. That wasn't violence. What I just saw had nothing to do with violence. So it's coded language. You know what I mean? She's trying to send a message to people like wink, wink, you know, tighten up.
Ahead,
Well, I'll say this because not the slogan, but the organization of BLM is ran by, quite frankly, I think they're witches. I don't like them. I don't trust them. There's nothing that they can say to me that will have any faith in what they're trying to do. They've been proven to be fraud. They've been proven to steal money from the people that has donated. They have proven that they are not wanting the best for a Black family. They're wanting the best for their community. And we understand it's really the LGBTIQ whatever community. So that's who really they are the face for. So anything that comes out of their mouth, I don't believe. And I think it's interesting that she's so scared, but during the times that they were marching and moving, and there were some instances where people was blowing up stuff and putting stuff on fire, did she say anything about, you guys, these people might be scared, you're hurting businesses? No. So now when it comes to her and her getting checked and the whole organization literally imploding off their lies, now all of a sudden she's doing stuff to play victim. So she's playing victim, but on my end, it doesn't work. This is a bunch of witches, okay? Evil ladies.
I mean, you saying witches? You mean bitches? I mean, just go on through it, boy. I mean, don't sugarcoat
You
it.
could go either way with it, Hank. You could go either
That's
way.
what I'm talking about.
Okay?
Tell it like it is, sister.
They're just not for the community at all. And so I like Candace Owens. I think she's very intelligent. I think Candace Owens, whether you believe in her political stance or not, she's very consistent. She's willing to debate anyone on it, and she does it masterfully, quite frankly. And so they don't want no smoke with Candace. They don't. So shout out to Candace Owens. She in Nashville. Let me just throw that out there.
Is that why I come down to Nashville to see my girl Candace? We're going to hang out and have a beer.
I'll say this, though. Notice who's clapping when Candace Owens does well. Who's clapping when Candace Owens when things go right for Candace Owens? Who's clapping? It ain't us. It's the people that don't like us. It's the people that shoot 10 people in Buffalo.
No,
That's who like Candace
Owens. It's a few of us.
That's who like.
I have to push back on that, Avon.
Hey, but I'm gonna ride with it because I like a mindset. She's a
there's more of us than not, Avon, that thinks like her, maybe not have the audacity to speak like her, but she's speaking. There is a group of people, Black people, that thinks like her.
Yeah, no, and they exist. And here's the thing: if me and Candace Owens were talking about financial stuff, we would probably be on the same page. But there's a certain level of naivety that comes into this if we don't understand that the vast majority of her audience is a fan of white supremacy. You know, like that is, you know, though, like I said last week, these are the people who, when you say something that they like, they refer to as one of the good ones. You have to be careful about, you know, aligning yourself. There's a term that the Russians used to use for people like this. Like back in the 1950s and 60s, people who used to cap for the USSR because they were well intentioned, right? They wanted healthcare. They wanted all these things that the Soviet Union had, but they ignored the fact the Soviet Union was still an empire murdering thousands of people. The Russians used to call Americans who capped for the Soviet Union useful idiots. And Candace Owens is being often used as a useful idiot.
Let me push back on that because she's conservative. And if we look back to where Black folks were back in the day when we had our families intact, it's because of our conservative ideology, which we've completely switched from. Now I don't even think we're super liberal. What they do is put Black liberals in place for us to vote for. So it's a bait and switch that they've done to us. But she's just super conservative. There's nothing that she said or has said that has indicated for me white supremacy, which we can talk about on another show. But it's Christian views, it's traditional views, it's views that we as Black people have always believed in. It's just something that we are switching from because now they're wanting us to believe that the views that we've always believed in is now Republican. And if you Republican, like old girl said on The View, if you Republican, you ain't Black, or being a Black Republican is the dumbest thing.
I agree. And I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but Blacks were Republicans first. So to kind of piggyback what Courtney was saying, but to go back to the original video regarding Candace, I mean, I'm not surprised at the outcome. In journalism, it's CYA, cover your ass. You think you're not going to go to somebody's door and not have a camera crew or your phone out to make sure you cover your ass? So I'm not surprised. That's why she had to take the video down. And she knew Candace Owens is a heavy hitter. So she thought her tears was going to cover more weight than the documentary that Candace was doing. Mm-hmm. So this was just par for the course. I knew this was going to happen. I knew she was going to have footage. I knew, Candace got her ass. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, I'm going to push back on the whole Black Republican thing because people use that a lot. There's a reason why Black people used to be Republicans. Lincoln was a Republican. Republicans were the progressive party back in the 1860s. They were the progressive party up until the 1950s, when the down south Democrat, or the Dixiecrats as they were called, or whatever, fought integration in the civil rights movement. When the Republicans in the South. So what happened was black people stopped voting Republican during the civil rights era because the Democrats up here were in favor of all the civil rights stuff. We switched because of policy, not because the parties, changed that much. That's all. But here's the thing, right? If your interests are, I don't think our interests are aligned or whatever, right? My interest as a black man can't possibly be the same as a 60-year-old white dude in the middle of Ohio going Trump every 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Our interests are not aligned. Everything that I would want, for myself and my family as a black person, a lot of those people stand directly, and those are the people who pay Candace Owens bills. Like I said, she can believe what she wants to believe, but the people who are following her, I don't believe genuinely want good things for black people in this country, and they never have.
Well, let's get race out of it, because if we want to talk about policies and if you're not for family, if you're not for not having certain things taught in school, so your child comes home at 6, 7 years old asking what is this and that, and you're like, how'd you learn that in school? So if you're not about businesses, particularly small businesses, I'm not sure that a lot of people align with that, and that has nothing to do with race. So I think if you take race out of it and fundamentally look, who are you or what your interests are? Is it family? Is it how we was raising our family traditionally, or how are we raising our family now in this progressive era where now anything goes? Now I can say I don't know what a woman is. Now I can say that I don't need a woman's bathroom or a man's bathroom. I can say that I want to teach sex education to kindergartners. That's the progression that we're moving towards. So again, for me, it's not about race when it comes to policies, because the policy is going to affect every single race here in the States. It's what do I align with when it comes to family? If I'm family first and I believe a certain thing, if I'm a Christian and I have Christian values, which one more aligns? And it has nothing to do with a 60-year-old white man with a Trump flag. It has to do with, he's probably talking about family too. If you're for gun rights and you believe in the Second Amendment, this is what I think as far as policies that you align with. And this is what I see with Candace Owens, what she aligns with. So whether she was white, black, Puerto Rican, if she's for family and not this progressive, or now like the BLM, where they don't believe in nuclear family and they don't believe that the black man should be in leadership. As a matter of fact, that's why they don't have black men in leadership in that organization. I'm not going to align with that. Am I? No.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you. I didn't want to.
So,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
don't
want
care
somebody
about the
else to
Trump
say.
thing, and he's still, or I'm in Tennessee. I get it, right? And so they might look at me funny, and but they always are. I can't change that in them. However, when I go to vote, if I vote, then I'm going to look at what aligns with what I believe in, my values, how I want my daughter raised, and how we're moving right now is the complete opposite of what I want my daughter to be raised in.
I just recently watched a speech that Candace Owens gave, and she's saying exactly what Courtney just said. Like, she has strong stances against things that are against the nuclear family. And she said the reason she has a problem with the alphabet community is because they're supporting the thought process or feelings of children, allowing them to make decisions now that can affect them in the future. So which I thought was a great point. She said I used to be a nanny, and the little girl thought she was a mermaid. She said, so should I just let her swim in the bathtub all day and just be a mermaid? She said, we're parents for a reason. We have to guide them and teach them. She said, now they're telling us, oh, we need to let the children decide. They don't even have gender reveal parties. Let the child tell you what their gender is. And I don't agree with that. I think that is something the parents should guide you on, because if you're making a decision to change your sex now, how is that going to affect you in the future? You can't reproduce, and that destroys families, which was the point that she made. And I thought that was a great point that I had never even thought about. If little boys are turning themselves into girls and girls are turning themselves into boys, when you get older and you want to get married and make a family, you can no longer do that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about it, lady?
I mean, I pretty much already, I feel like Candace Owens is pro-family. Like Courtney said, I agree with everything Courtney and Kelly just said. They pretty much stated everything that I would have said. And, you know, if you do remove the whole race aspect of it and, you know, focus on and remove like, or not even think about who's supporting her, and actually listen to what her rhetoric is, it's actually more helpful to our communities, like, than any other. I guess if we were to have a rep, a female rep in our community that was speaking to certain things. So I like Candace Owens. There are certain things that she does say that is a bit, you know, far-fetched, and I feel like she's just tap dancing, you know, and trying to put on. But for the most part, her messaging, I feel if folks were to actually cut through like all the other unnecessary distractions and pay attention, I think it would be more helpful for us.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious, with what do you disagree with, Avon? What bothers you about?
You just don't trust her, man.
Yeah.
I
Like,
have strong feelings. She thinks she's being
there
used
are
as a
no. It's
tool.
not about trust issues. It's just sometimes when you're around certain Black people and they give you a vibe, right? They give you a vibe that they're more invested in white folks' issues than Black folks' issues. They are more concerned with how they appear in front of white folks than how they appear in front of Black folks. Their agendas often run counter to what most Black people believe. And it's a lack of it. I know what I'm seeing. I've went to school with a lot. I grew up with a bunch of Candace Owens folks, where there's like this thing going on in their head that the closer to whiteness that they get, the better. And I'm not comfortable with those type of people. I'm just not, you know. And like I said, going back to my original point, you have to think about, like, if you were in a room with a bunch of people who were Candace Owens supporters from rural America, would you feel comfortable? Because I wouldn't. I'm gonna need a pistol or something, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not coming into that room with 500 Trump supporters and I'm unarmed, because I'm not.
Nah, I mean,
Well,
I would walk
Do
in
you
there.
really feel that way?
I would walk
Yeah,
in there and just say, yo,
You
I
think
would.
they're gonna
Did
link
you see what they
the
did in
media?
Chicago when Trump came? Did you see that? They
I didn't hear you
tore
say.
this city. So when Trump was running, all his minions came down from the hinterlands to downtown Chicago and were so out of control that it started a riot, and they basically tore up the stadium, the area around it. People got jumped, people got beat up. They beat up one of my best friend was there. He was a reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times. He documented the event.
just like
Reporters,
we do to our own selves in our own communities. We
right? But
blow up
I don't.
fire, and matter of fact, we do it more often than a Trump supporter ever did.
I mean,
So
but
how are you going to be? I'm not scared to go into nothing.
Me neither.
And I've never seen. I mean, we don't have to do the Trump and stuff or whatever, but just in conservative spaces, quite frankly, when they see black people, they're shocked, and a lot of times they be wanting to welcome because they want that black vote. They want black people to come on over to the side, so they're very welcoming. And again, I live in rural America. I live in rural areas, so I'm there's walk down my street, you'll see a Confederate flag.
Yeah,
but I'm not scared.
Do you understand though that the reason that they are valuing you is because you are devaluing what they think black is?
No. And I don't.
That's what I'm saying though. The reason why they are happy to see you is because they think you are a black person that is not like the other black person.
Well, but here's the thing, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think. What I want is better for my child. What I want is we go back to traditional values. That's what I want. I agree with the Second Amendment. So but it has at what cost of what someone thinks or what is going to really happen in America. Someone's thought of me has nothing to do with what policies that I want enacted in today.
That's fair.
So I'm not going to, well, they might think that I'm a jucking and jiving. I don't give a damn. I'm focused on if I'm, again, family. And what do I want? How do I want families to look?
Like, I'm not comfortable having them type of people around me who feel that I'm okay to be in their presence because I'm not behaving like the stereotype in their mind. You know, I remember, what was it, about 5-6 months ago, we had a young guy on from Florida, and he was talking about he was cool for white dudes in the bar to use the N-word towards him. And I was like, dude, who raised you, bro? You cool with like young white dudes walking up to the bar?
So,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
so this is what you do.
You said you're about family and how you want families to look. Do you want families to look like Candace Owens' family?
No, but see what he's doing is he trying to make a point.
I don't fully agree with her. I feel like as a woman that's so influential and so intelligent, so well spoken, I feel like she, she's married to a white man. You know what I mean? And it almost brings Avon's point home. Like, with that whole wanting to be accepted, showing up a certain way. Like that side of it, and it's not that I'm against, interracial dating. To each his own, love is love. If you're happy, that's what works, right? But you just mentioned that, so I'm just curious about what your take is on that.
Well, hold up, wait. I'm just put this for the record. Maybe we can kind of clean it up a little bit. Our problem is not Candace Owens' problem. It's not a white person problem. It's a black person problem. Because see, everything that we consider correct, we consider to be white. We consider just because she speak proper English, is white. We consider just because she have views that protect the family, is white views. See, that's our problem. And brother, everything you've been spilling on here, you constantly move the goalposts. You sit here and you went to, somebody saying that somebody allowing people to say the N-word and all that kind of stuff. You're looking for an excuse to sit here and just make a point about it instead of just dealing with the facts of it. It's sad. If you want to see and say, oh yeah, if they did do that in Chicago, oh my God, really? You gonna really say that they came in Chicago and tanned up the city? Well, ain't too much more to be told.
The video, bro. I sent you the video. It wasn't black folks down there tearing stuff up with Trump t-shirts on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want me to do on that?
What is that?
Hold on 1 minute, Cordy. This is what I'm saying to you, player. Watch this. The whole summer, they've been tearing up the United States. And then now you name one incident where it was done by white people. And then you say you probably can name two if you add in.
You ain't see what happened last night, bro?
What happened last night?
You ain't see what happened in Buffalo last night, bro?
Oh, you live in Buffalo?
No, but what I'm telling you is a white man played G.I. Joe on black folks last night.
What in the world? Come on. We can't do these small instances, and when that happens and say, they're going to white folks, when we do it to ourselves every day, then you should be done with black people. You should go on and move to Czechoslovakia. Get away from the Negroes, because it's the Negroes that do it to our communities majority of the time.
Hey, he don't have no problem with it. Matter of fact, your Democratic elected officials in Chicago that's constantly been Democrats. Same thing with my city, Atlanta. And then guess what? Oh, my bad. In Atlanta, they finally cut down on that stuff. They did what? RICO cases on these gangs that call themselves record labels. Oh, but now everybody want to call that lady a coon because she's cleaning up the streets. See, guys like you and your mentality, bro, it's hurtful. And this is what also it is. When our women see, you muted though, I can't hear you. But when our women see you with this mindset and mentality, do you know men like you create the problem? You create a problem. You tell white supremacists. It has nothing to do with white supremacists. You found this topic where it was a black woman going to a black lady house to do an interview about black issues, and you found some way to put white supremacists in it. But if you really want to put white supremacists in it, you should have put it on the BLM. But you try to put it on Candace Owens. See, that's why I say we can never take you.
I made it clear. I don't like both sides. They both clowns. They both misusing people's emotions, man. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like, look, bro, I'm not looking for white heaven like Candace Owens is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can.
What does that mean? But what does that mean?
Again, what I'm saying is that there are some black people who view their proximity to whiteness brings them closer to being white. Okay. Because they don't have any love of themselves.
But this is the thing. I mean, you're putting your emotions. Hold on. You're putting your emotions and what you think of her. It's superseding the policies and the rhetoric that she believes in. So forget they think you don't know what she thinks. You don't know her. But what has she championed? This is where we need to talk about. I know she married a white daddy. Okay. That's another topic as far as, but we're not talking about that. What are the policies that she believes in? And if you don't believe in that, then that's a whole discussion. But if you do, then what is all the extra has to do with it? Nothing. Are you for family? Okay. Do you believe that there should be
yeah, I believe in family, but I think the hand-wringing over these social issues when they are bigger issues. See, the problem is that people who this will be a primary issue for them will go vote Republican or whatever, right? But the things that can help our community, you know what I'm saying, that we might get from the other side, we're going to throw all that out too. You know what I mean?
Like
what? So
I need something tangible.
How about this? The reason why a lot of middle-class people are struggling right now is because of student loans, right? You think the people who follow Candace Owens give a damn about student loan relief? They don't care. They don't care about any of the economic issues that are happening to black people. They don't care about, the only, we got this whole thing that white folks love saying us, what about Chicago? Because they like using this as an example of everything going wrong. And people don't give a damn about Chicago, bro.
Okay, but pinpoint something for me. When you can't do that generic stuff with me, right? When you said they don't care, when you said they don't care about black issues, right? Is black issues in the inner city jobs?
You're on mute.
Yeah. The policies that will bring more jobs to Chicago.
Well, I'm saying you can't and say they don't care. So I'm asking you, is jobs a black issue?
You're on mute.
My bad, I don't know what's going on with the. All right, I'm on. Say that one more time so I can respond, bro.
Are jobs black issues?
Absolutely, they are.
Okay.
Absolutely, they are.
Okay. So now, just slow down now. Now, fuck a Democrat, Republican, a Libertarian, any of that. Who policies align with that?
None of them do, and that's the problem.
Oh, I say to this. Like I said,
That's
if
why
you,
we have voter turnout rates in the city of Chicago at
if you
13%.
said none of them, if you said none of them, I say you're not qualified to have this conversation because apparently you're not looking at what's been going on for the last 4 years.
What exactly is that?
What exactly is what?
You said what's been going on for the past 4 years. Tell me what's been going on for the past 4 years.
What's the only president that put intact where they was actually putting foreign tariffs on companies? Do you know what foreign tariffs do for companies?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does it do for companies?
So it makes it more expensive to import that item.
Okay, and then now, if you want to, now don't listen to me.
I ain't say nothing.
Wait, research all the major manufacturers overseas, and then you will want to slap yourself because if you look at it, that's a game changer. Because now, if you can start putting Tesla factories back in the United States, because most of these inner cities was built off of industry, correct? Detroit, right? Industry, right? But where's all the Detroit Cadillac factories at now? You know,
They're not coming back, bro. They're not coming back, man.
You
mass industry is not coming back. You know where it's going? It's going to Mexico.
Oh, listen, wait. Don't play no. Look, listen what I'm saying. If you put taxes on the motherfuckers, right?
Yes.
That means it would be more expensive to keep it outside of the United States, and you start penalizing them for that, right?
It's gonna come anyway. You just gonna pay more for it. That's all.
But see, no, let's deal with the facts, brother. Listen what I'm saying. Don't just listen to the facts, unless you can prove me wrong. They move all the shit out of Detroit, and they put it where? In China, right? If you start taxing them like every other country do, every other country tax the shit out of their imports. That makes the society buys American, Korean, China, all that stuff. Even China do it to us, and we don't do it to ourselves. So now it's only one political policy that was put in place to sit here and put a conservative effort to stop that. Call your phone company right now. You know what they're going to send you to? Central America, brother. You know why they do that in Central America? Because they don't have to pay no taxes. They don't got to pay no benefits. They don't got to do nothing. Only one person tried to even address that in the last 4 years, and black people.
Yeah, we're going to button this up shortly.
Yeah, you don't understand. I want logic. I want you to understand. Terrorists don't go in every country. They only go on certain countries, or it could go on a group of countries, right? The reason why hold on, I'm pulling up right now.
While you're pulling that up, we cannot deny that there has been one particular party that has championed. Yeah, that has championed especially small businesses. There's one particular party that has always wanted jobs to stay in America. There's one particular party that has tried to put a handle on immigration so everything can stay American. You are American. These jobs will be for you. These jobs will not be outsourced. These jobs, especially if you own a small business, would be championed. There's only one particular party that does it. It has nothing to do with skin color. Right now, we're talking about your family, your jobs, your home, your children. And that should supersede anything else. But it doesn't, because then we start getting emotional and start talking about who Candace Owens married and blah, blah, blah. But again, you have not said anything that she has said that you disagreed with.
I have said something that she said that disagree with what I disagree with.
You said she got a white
very
hood.
Negative. Yeah, that's a problem for me as well.
No, it's not okay. We can move on, JR. But this thing, you've not said anything as far as policy. You keep talking about how she makes you feel because you've been around Black folks like her. How you feel has nothing to do with policy. What's right? What's wrong? How do we want our America to look in the next 15 years? And how it's going, that's been run by Democrats, has been trash.
And that's a fact.
Enjoy your Republican overlords. I'm telling you,
It's
enjoy
so
it.
emotional. It's
rather
who
the
cares?
Democratic
It's not emotional. It's not
Forget
emotional.
the part.
But
You
it's
keep
totally
talking about Republican, Democrat.
it's one of
Leave
these
that out
things
of it.
where
Look at your policy.
you have to. Hey, okay, I understand the policy, but are you comfortable engaging in that?
Can I ask you a
You're
question?
breaking up
Ethan?
a little bit.
Oh, he's stuck in the matrix.
Nah, I think he got that Obama
Policy
internet.
with people who don't value you,
But
who don't.
Can I ask you a
Hey,
question?
man, I'm
Hold on,
bringing that
Aven,
Thursday energy here, Elijah. You, Lady Kid
hold
Court,
on,
y'all
y'all.
bringing that Thursday energy. Don't be doing us like that on Sunday.
No, Courtney
We
when
respect and we good hosting people.
this. Well,
We good
Courtney,
hosting people here.
Sheila,
Can I just ask you a
Hold on,
question?
y'all. Hold on,
like this.
y'all. Hold on, y'all. Kelly want to ask a question. Go ahead.
I just want to know, like, do you think that the Democratic Caucasian politicians like Black people?
No, absolutely not. But I'd rather deal with people who have some level of decorum, some level of common sense. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to make deals with devils in politics. It is what it is. I just rather not make deals with people who would rather see me not alive.
But let me ask you a question, Aven. Like, I mean, if we've experienced something one way for so long and we're still unsatisfied, why would you not consider, like, okay, I tried one devil, let me try this other devil. It can't be no worse than the current state. You know what I mean? So it's not so much that I don't trust this person or there's a feeling. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Being in a room full of vultures, I understand the feeling aspect of it. But if I have these same feelings amongst people that are supposed to be my own people, what's the worst that can happen
What Malcolm X
at this
wanted to
point?
do. My response would be what Malcolm X wanted to do is leave both sides alone and do our own thing, bro. Advocate for ourselves, create our own communities, create our own economies, create our own schools. Like, there is no war in this situation. We don't have to lay down with either devil, quite frankly. You know, you create our own stuff. But
Hey,
what
I'm
I'm not
also
going
for
to sit here and put my arm around somebody who I know doesn't see me as a human being just because, you know, the LGB, alphabet, whatever the F they are, people or whatever, are making certain people feel uncomfortable. I'm one of them people where, like, that doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. It doesn't have an impact on my life, bro. I don't care what you do in a bedroom by yourself or whatever, right? So to me, the bigger issues for me are economics. They are, you know, geopolitical issues. I don't care what Dwayne Wade is sometimes doing with his little boy. I just don't give a damn. It's his house.
But that's what I'm saying. Real quick, Elijah.
Hold on.
It's like, real quick. So it's not so much putting your arm around them, man. It's almost like an interview. Like, all right, bro, sell me. You know, you're not putting your arm around. You're just saying, sell me. But I do agree with you. We need to be independent ourselves. We need to have the infrastructure ourselves. But, you know, so much of the system is woven into, like, it needs to be completely dismantled. You can't change one thing because there's so many other things that one thing that's changed won't have any effect. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be broken down like Legos and rebuilt. And until that happens, we're gonna have to work within the matrix that we got dropped in.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do it though.
Aven?
The Black Panthers were doing it, bro. You can work within the system, but not have to give away political, you know, capital or whatever to make deals with the devil, bro.
But
You
Aven,
can work within the system and not pick a side.
let me do this because this running in circles, right? So you want facts. You say you want money, right? Let's do this, right? For Black people to vote for Biden this time, right? What was their biggest thing that was on their wish list for Biden?
I think the biggest thing on their wish list was to make Trump go away. I think Black people I think Biden. Please, Logic, believe me, ain't no Biden fans over here, Logic.
I'm saying policy. What policy? I'm not saying not feelings.
What they wanted the yeah. I think it was student loan forgiveness or whatever, right?
Forgiveness, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. So student loan forgiveness. Now let's crunch numbers. Student loan forgiveness for the United States would have been $1 trillion, right? For the black community, for the black community, it would have been something like $30 billion. You don't got to look me up, research it, right? For the world, for the United States, it would have been something like 1 trillion. For the black community, it would have been under $30 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said no, correct? Right?
You broke up on me. Say that one more time.
No, he said no, it's correct.
No, he wasn't gonna do it, right? Can you do me a favor real fast? Do you got your cell phone or you on your cell phone?
I got my desktop right here. What's going on?
Right. Anybody on this panel research how much money they sent to Ukraine?
Like 60 billion or something like that, right?
So
matter of fact, I saw it this morning. It's
wait. Don't dodge the facts. Wait, hold up.
Have you asked how much it is? I'm telling you how much it is. They said 50 billion.
No, you said you didn't know. Look, wait, hold up. Now let's register this, right? You voted for him.
I did not.
He told you that he was gonna do this. Now just say if you don't do the student loan. He said he was gonna do something as a version of the platinum plan. You didn't see that. You didn't see the platinum plan, revised version. You didn't see no student loan forgiveness for the black community, right? Because
why they're not gonna do it though. You know why they're not gonna do it.
Wait. Just don't deal with emotions, deal with facts and policies. So now what I'm telling you is he told you that the United States could not afford to do that. That's what the little press secretary, the little redhead chick said, right? But you send $64 billion to Ukraine. Now you make that make sense for me.
It doesn't make sense. And I'm trying to understand why you think I'm a Joe Biden voter and or support.
Here's what
Never said I was.
But Aben, it's the thing is that you keep complaining about conservatives and Republicans.
Yeah, I don't like their social views. I don't like the social views.
The complete opposite.
I'm not going to politically align with people who don't value me as a human being. Why is that difficult to grasp?
But what he's saying is that the people that say they champion you as a human being, and for black folks, is the Democratic Party. They have lied. They have continuously lied to us. Biden has sent money overseas, but it has not did anything on his promises. But it's not just him; it's the Democratic Party. Now we got money for crack pipes. It's the Democratic Party, the people that, and they get people like you that say the rhetoric that they love black folks and you don't vote for me, you black. But
I'm not a Democrat.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. You can be more than one thing. You can be you can be an independent. You can be a libertarian.
Sir,
you know that, right?
Okay.
I'm an independent.
You champion people that say that they're
Who did I champion? Who did you say? Who did I champion?
You're not even listening. You're not okay. You said
you said I champion people, and then you asked who I said I champion.
I'll answer it. 5 minutes ago, you said I cannot see myself voting for anyone that wants me dead. So the complete opposite of that is voting for people that say they champion black people. That is the total complete opposite. What me and Logic is saying is get out of your feelings. Quit worrying about someone that's
people on the ballot, though, right? You do know there were 3 other names on the ballot, right?
Okay. What we're saying is get out of your feelings and stop worrying about who wants you dead or who not, and look at the policies that's actually killing us. That are actually killing us. And it's been the Democratic Party.
What policy specifically is killing black people? I'm asking a question. I'm asking what specific policy?
Okay, y'all, let's just have a conversation.
Okay, what policy has been enacted that has been dividing our families?
You tell me. I'm asking you.
Okay.
The border policy.
I'm legit asking you a question.
Okay, use this border policies. Go.
Okay.
Now go. You tell me how is it for black people, and I'll tell you how it's against black people. Are you ready for it?
Go.
Majority of black people is below middle class, correct?
Yeah.
Majority of black people do a lot of physical labor in the United States, correct?
Yes.
When all them foreigners come over here, and I'm not saying foreigners like foreigners coming from Middle East, India, I'm saying foreigners coming over the border.
Okay.
Who jobs is they taking?
Bruh, if somebody is crossing a desert.
Answer the question, man. Don't do that weak stuff. Answer don't do that. I'm saying who
don't
jobs
bring that third emotional to you, man. We told you about that.
Like you talking about get out your feelings. You the one yelling at the top of the lungs, bro.
I'm saying, who jobs are they taking, brother?
They are taking jobs no one wants, bro. When you drive home, pass Home Depot, I don't see no boys out there with their pants hanging off.
Brother.
It's studio in them, bro.
He's not
if
going.
Somebody is crossing the border.
All right, y'all. We got to move on. We got to move on, y'all.
Hold on. I'm gonna finish this because a lot of black people need to hear this. If someone is crossing a damn desert and can't speak English and has no formal education, they taking your job, you a hot ass mess in the first place, bro.
They are.
But listen, brother, just see, look.
That's a you problem, not a them problem, bro. If your market value to the economy is being taken over by somebody who's effing illiterate, that's a you problem.
Listen what I'm saying, brother. Listen what I'm saying. See, you don't see. Let's have the conversation. Don't come up with, if you come up with excuses, you're gonna derail the conversation.
That's not an excuse. That's reality. Like, right, if you can't walk in right now, if you as an American citizen can't walk into a damn restaurant and wash dishes, and Julio is doing it better than you, like, bruh, where you at in life, man?
I don't look that what you saying is if they taking your jobs, then you ain't shit no way. That's not the argument that I'm making. My argument is who jobs are they taking?
They literally aren't taking. We've never done that. We haven't done them damn jobs.
Black people don't do construction.
No, I work in real estate. I'm gonna tell you right now. Go down to Home Depot right now. It ain't a single black person out there with a hammer ready to work, bro.
Construction. You said black men, construction, believe it or not, before truck driving came into play, construction work was a stable job for black people.
Okay. And here's the messed up part of economics is when labor gets cheaper, guess what? You have to improve your job skills, man.
Like you can't sit here and always come with excuse. Just let's talk about
an excuse. That's called econ, bro. That's supply and demand.
Bro, I'm saying
let's tell somebody to do it cheaper. That's supply and demand, bro.
Listen, if we talk about it, then we can actually start seeing stuff. The thing is when you realize that it's policies that actually was, and I said this before, it's executive orders that put into place that said that these Mexicans coming over the border can be fast-tracked to a green card by working in certain fields. Agriculture, executive order. Just look it up. So now this was an effort to actually do what? Make a working class. And then now in the same time, they've been pushing policies to make a welfare class. So now the proof is in the pudding. Just look at it. When you see people just flooding over the border, and this was a big issue, it was an issue. It was night and day. One group said, stop them. They're flooding. They're taking all the resources. They welfare, all this stuff, not child support, welfare, all this stuff, all these different programs, and then we can barely even take care of ourselves. And then if you sit here and say you don't see this, and it's done by a party, and then now start analyzing the facts to see that, guess what? They're making a working class with no rights. If you talking about slavery, this is modern day slavery. And you allow it and you don't care because at the end of the day, you said the people that do them jobs is below you. You out of your mouth, you said that these people are below you. If a Mexican can take their job, then they don't deserve it anyway. But brother, do you realize as long as the world still turns, it will be a majority of people will have to do them jobs for you to have what you have now.
Hey, thank you, Logic, for being a filibuster on a LaPeef Sunday. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. You ain't shit.
All right, we're gonna transition. We're gonna transition, y'all. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to the new LAPEEF-ING Sundays. That's what this show is called, LAPEEF-ING Sunday.
Where'd you get that term from?
I had a dream about it. Yeah, I had a dream about it. I brought it to life.
Can I say
church
something?
Say amen. Sure, go ahead. After the church say amen.
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 Hallelujah.
Right, go ahead, Miss Kelly.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think that there's a lot of intelligent people on the panel, and everyone has different viewpoints and opinions, and it's okay. You don't have to have an argument about it to state your case. It's okay to have different views.
We got to have a conversation. That's the most
You have
important.
a conversation, but not a yelling.
We not talking about it, ain't nothing going to happen. So
absolutely.
That's all I have to say. We growing over here.
I agree, Kelly.
All right, man. Let's get the likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'll read the super chats. Well, I have one of the ladies read the super chats after this next topic. But you guys heard about the boy with the little whip walking up to the door, right?
What?
You guys heard about the young boy walking up to the door with the whip? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play some clips of it real quick because there's been a series of events that has unfolded as far as the parents speaking out. When I saw this video, I was kind of tripped out. I saw it on mute, and it was just the whole snapping of the whip was kind of like, damn, what the hell? What the hell going on here? Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
You better get your ass on my porch beating on my door like this. I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever beat on my goddamn shit. Go.
Your son beat on mine. I need to talk about these damages to my car. Your son, let me show you the video. If you come outside and talk like an adult, then maybe we can figure it out. You coming outside with I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You coming outside with yeah, because I saw the way you started walking up on me. We've already had beef before. We have it on video. All right, get off my property. Seriously, get off my property. Someone came over here with a bring his ass over here again. Please.
You have a gun.
Come over here on my side and see what the
you have a
fuck out of here. Bring your motherfucking ass outside without the gun.
No, baby, get me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So the events that led up to the 9-year-old coming to our door, the kid claimed as he was walking home that he was jumped by our son. Our son is 13 years old. He gets out of school 2 hours after the 9-year-old gets out of school. So there's no way our son could have touched or even seen, this 9-year-old kid that claims he was jumped by our son. This is not the first incident that we've had with the neighbor accusing our sons of doing things that they didn't do. We'll eventually go back and show you guys the previous post from 2019 from where we had an issue with him, and then we'll give you a breakdown of that. But so the 9-year-old claimed that he was jumped by our son. What actually happened is that we spoke with a group of kids that walk home with the 9-year-old as well as my daughter, and the entire group.
There's some old videos. I ain't gonna play all of them, but it looks like it's looking like the father got arrested, the boy with the whip. I think he got arrested. I got to look up to see what he's charged, but I had all the videos put together. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. He walked up to the door with a whip. And it's like a legit whip, right? Am I tripping?
It was a whip.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah.
That was my first time seeing the video. I only heard about it.
Mine too.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys want, I can play the rest of the videos. You want me to play them or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play it.
Yeah, I need the information.
Basically confirmed my daughter's story. My daughter told us that, you know, the 9-year-old kid was saying rude things to the group of kids. The group of kids,
Racial slurs.
Racial slurs to those kids. The group of kids that the 9-year-old was with were all African American, and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You didn't say a name.
The group of kids, you know, well, how can I put it?
It's okay. You can just say it.
Yeah, I got you.
It's okay. You didn't say a name. You can describe them. It's just a description. Go ahead.
Okay, so the 9-year-old was saying racial slurs to the other kids. Some of those kids that he said those slurs to were brothers and sisters. So those kids proceeded to basically attack him. I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what happened.
Well, he started by hitting them with his skateboard. He typically rides a skateboard to school, so he was hitting the other kids with his skateboard. And apparently, you know, when he hit the kids with the skateboard, you know, their siblings started, you know, getting in. It was a brother. It was a brother that was there, and he was like, you know, I had to defend my sister. He was hitting my sister, and once he hit my daughter, like a few months back, she came home crying because another kid had scratched up her face, and I had told her, you know, hey, don't come back here with your tail between your legs. You need to defend yourself. And that's what she did, and he didn't like it. And when she defended herself, another kid ended up pushing him
into some water.
Yeah, so the kid pushed him from the back, and when he got up, you know, the first person he saw was Jordan, which is my daughter, and he attacked her. So she came home, and that's when she told me, you know, what had took place. And we, you know, we were having a conversation about it, and he came to the door beating on the door. So that's where we are with, you know, him beating on the door at this point.
Okay, so, now we're going to show you. Now we're going to show you guys the video. Well, actually, after the 9-year-old beats on the door, my wife calls the police. Correct? The police show up. At that time, the kid had already walked off. The police show up. I wasn't home at the time, but she was. So I'm going to let her explain it.
When the police showed up, he pretty much told me that since the boy was 9 years old, it was pretty much nothing we can do. He started to question me, asking me, do I think that the little boy has mental issues, or that he dealing with some type of issues? And like I told him, you know, he's not my son, so I don't know. You know, that has nothing to do with me. I'm calling for help regarding this situation. And I really didn't understand why he was asking me those type of questions. He pretty much said, you know, as far as the damage to my car, it's nothing we can do. I mean, if we decide to take him to court, it's gonna be a civil matter, and that it's gonna be very expensive for us to pursue.
Even with vandalism,
Last video. Okay, well, that's it. That's all the video. So hopefully it gave y'all some context. What do you guys thoughts about it real quick?
I would have shot the little fucker.
Hey.
She violate my property. Yes, I would have. Somebody said they in Texas. It's a stand your ground state. You have every right. I would have shot the little bastard.
I mean, I think yeah, that's crazy. With a sword off, yo. I mean, I think situations like that, man, like that's just that little kid is just the next generation of what we're trying to do away with, or what we're trying to get rid of. You know, I worked in a children's home, and I had kids who were racist based upon what they were taught, not based upon actually knowing what racism is and the effects of it. It was almost like, if a black person does this, you say this. And you know, this dude, I used to have to protect him. He was like a little racist, and I used to have to protect him from getting slapped up by the gangbangers because he was just taught to react this way, you know, based on his pops. His dad was a racist, you know, in and out of jail. And so you seeing the next generation, like I would just deal with the authorities, man, because that black dude go over there, knock dude out. He start twitching on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, you never know how that could go. So you kind of got to just leave it in the hand. Outside of suing, you kind of got to leave it in the hands of the law, man.
But
Because it's
Jay,
never.
Who had the gun?
but Jay, it seems like, I don't know if she said that the little boy was a white boy or what happened, but it seems like she tried to go to the authorities, and the first thing they asked was whether or not he was mentally ill. It's like when it comes to our kids, like, I've seen 9 and 10-year-olds get handcuffed, thrown on the floor. Our babies get beat up. You know what I mean? And that's the question that was asked. Like, I heard this story before, but I was sitting here watching this in total disbelief. Like, are you serious?
I would have
Is
shot
that
the special
mental illness?
these days too.
And that's, like you said, it's another generation. He's seeing this. Like, there are some kids, there are some white children that are being taught, like, them niggas used to be our animals. You whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's legitimately happening, and you can see that in the way he was conducting himself at their door. Like, that
we get caught up every time, and then we'll look like a fool, because what we don't do is we judge based off one side of the story. We judge with emotions, and we never wait on details. And then it always bites us in our ass.
They just
All we gotta do is wait on the details. If we wait on the details, because what happened is we're gonna find out, just like all the other stories, that, oh yeah, the little black kid was beating up the little white boy, and he was a bully. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, but this what happened most of the time. Because now you got to realize how the story was written. It was written with that racial undertone to get people riled up. When the first people here is you little white boy beating on the door with a whip.
We didn't hear nothing. We saw it. Did you not just see it? Like,
Okay,
what are you saying right now?
But baby, listen to what I'm saying though. This is how they get us. When the first thing when you see a little boy and you look at it, you ask yourself, what is a whip? And where did this little boy get a whip from?
What does it signify? Where did he get it from? What was he taught to make him think that was okay?
They got whips in their house?
In
Yeah,
our
but
community,
why is the little
I don't know
boy
about y'all, but where I grew up, if I did something wrong on my block, the person up the block from me could correct me. So if I went to somebody else's door with a whip, acting like that, being disrespectful to somebody else's house, my mother or whoever that was could pluck my ass and say, young lady, you correct yourself. You don't conduct yourself in that way in the world. It don't matter who it was, as an elder.
Well, let's take the whip out of it. Even if he didn't have the whip, he was being disrespectful, banging on the door like that. Automatic, off the top. That was disrespectful, right? So even if he had, hold on, Logic, hold on, Logic. This ain't Thursday, baby. Hey, even if he did all of that, if there's a problem with him getting bullied, he should address that with his parents and let his parents handle the situation. And maybe they could have went over more calm and collective and had the conversation. Maybe they could have had the two boys sit down at the table, break bread, and talk about what happened.
Yeah,
Maybe that could have been the case. But nonetheless, I wouldn't have did all of that. I would have, first of all, if the boy said that, come to me, talk to me about it. We'll have a conversation. We're gonna call the police. We're gonna file a report.
The first
If
video
my son was
says
getting
man
bullied,
goes to
I'm gonna
jail
file a
because he had
report.
a gun. Who had the gun?
Well, the white dude had the gun.
Hold on, Logic, I got you. Okay.
The white dude had the gun.
This is the thing, and this is how, again, from our last thing that we talked about, how they pluck at Black people's emotions and how people can turn a narrative or something that happened, and us not knowing the backstory. And then once we figure out the backstory, a lot of the times it bites us in the ass. So right now it's playing on our emotions because we get so triggered when we talk about race. And then you have the idea of the whip. And then it turns into a Jussie Smollett situation. So again, take your emotions out of it. And we have to understand the longevity of maybe how this have occurred. Did that Black boy, did the son do anything else? So it is, don't be so hyped. I would have shot him. I would have killed him without knowing everything in the backstory. So
I
that's
don't need
all
that
logic. We
for me to
can't. We
violate my
always do
house.
this. This is what concerns me with my community, and I've always said I'm B1, and I represent. And I love Black everything, but we're so damn emotional. We every time we see something on TV, and I think that, or even social media, and it's propaganda, and it's meant to do it for a purpose, and we always fall in the trap. We always do. You have to look at the whole thing, the whole story, and then come up with a conclusion. And we haven't heard all the whole story yet. This just came out, and that video just was out. That's it.
But
They're
Courtney,
not telling what they son did, and they won't.
okay, and that's fine, Courtney. And like I said, there should have been a conversation. If the boy's being bullied, we know. We only thing we do know is that we seen video that the boy was upset about something. We don't know why he was upset, but we know he was upset about something. Correct?
Yeah.
So if he was upset about something, he should have talked to his parents. Let the adults handle the situation because they're going to hopefully think more logical. Had a conversation with his son. His father or the mother or both of them could go over there to the other parents' house and have a conversation and maybe handle it amicably and civilly. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have never been this. But the boy came over upset, emotional, whatever the case may be. He felt that way, so it wasn't necessary. We could have nipped this at the butt. But now that they come to find out, saying more of the story, that they had a long-standing history, I don't know if it was going to be civilly handled. I don't know. Unless cooler heads had prevailed the last time and they was able to talk it out last time, maybe they could be able to talk it out again. I would have filed a police report, got it on paper, and I don't give a damn what the police says. He don't know all the laws. Just because he said he's police don't mean he knows all the laws. I would have found some type of legal representation. Say, hey, this happened. What is my next option? And I wouldn't leave from that.
Can we base the conversation on just specifically what we saw thus far, what we know thus far? So my understanding of the series of events is a white boy came to their property with a weapon. Once he got off the property, he keyed their car. They called the police. The police didn't do nothing. And correct me if I'm wrong. The father goes over there to confront the other father. It gets heated, and a gun was shot in the air. Is that the series of events that we know?
Yeah, the only thing that it wasn't, he said that they alleged that he did damages to the car.
Okay, so based on what we just know thus far, how would we have handled it? I think a lot of us are parents on this panel, because him going over there, I don't think was the right thing to do because our emotions was already high. What was going to be resolved thus far?
Is that a question?
Yeah, that's a question.
Okay.
I know we're all implying and we don't know everything. So based on what we know thus far, what is our thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say that based off my experience, I understand that you can hop into something emotionally and then something that you didn't think will be the end result actually be the end result. So I think something that we all should probably do is become familiar with the law when it comes to like your particular city and what it means to people being on your property and what you should do. Because even if you do have a concealed carry, if you do the wrong thing, then it could be murder. So I just think that we have to be familiar with the law first in order to be able to protect our homes and understand what it is we can and cannot do when somebody is on our property. A lot of people may understand what to do outside our property, but the property that's kind of sensitive and it's not the same law across all states. So I probably would have slowed everything down, as you often hear me say. Try not to act emotionally because I do want to be here the next day. So when I walked up to that father's door, if I'm seeing him fire around, I'm gonna probably come back because I'm on his property. And at that point, that father may be unaware as if he's violating that man's property or not, and he could possibly get shot. So I'm just going to slow everything down, call the police, take necessary steps to make sure I do everything the right way. Now, if I am familiar with the law and it was a violation, let's just say that man shot, and let's just say just because he shot around and I wasn't per se within his inside his house, then I probably might have to take appropriate action. And I don't know what that may be, but if I'm not violating any law, then I don't see no problem with you protecting yourself. So that's just me. That's just how I probably would respond to it. I wouldn't do nothing crazy that would prevent me from still seeing my family, still being here for the kids. But I am going to address the situation because then I'd be damned if I let somebody come bang on my door with a weapon. I like that word that Amber used, a weapon, and thinking this shit's sweet.
I had a
because in the back of my head, I'd probably be thinking like this dude had a fucking whip. But again, it's still a weapon. But either way, you banging on my door like you crazy. You need to come get your kid.
Yeah, I told you what I would do though.
Was it really see, this is how we can't do.
Yes, it was a weapon. It was gonna what do you what was
That's why I say I like weapon. That's why I say I like weapon.
Right. Like what was he doing with the weapon?
Question. No, I'm asking a logical question. See, this is how
would it have been better if it was a bat?
I guarantee you this. I guarantee you if you switch the races of both parties.
It doesn't matter. It's a weapon.
Oh my, just wait. Hold up. Just listen.
Let them finish.
If you switch both parties and you turn that into a little black boy that came doing that to his house, we will all say something must have made that little black boy mad to make him come to that door. First, we would have said that.
He's a badass kid, and he needs to go home and his parents need to discipline him. If that's the case,
I don't care if that boy showed up to my house, white, black, purple, pink.
Little boy, you better ass my porch beating on my door like this. I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever beat on my goddamn shit. Go.
Your son beat on mine. I need to talk about these damages to my car. Your son, let me show you the video. If you come outside and talk like an adult, then maybe we can figure it out. You coming outside with it. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You coming outside with it. Because I saw the way you started walking. No, we've already had beef before. We have it on video. All right, get off my property. Seriously, get off my property. Someone came over here with a bring his ass over here again.
Please. You have a gun.
Come over here on my side and see what the
You have a
fuck out of here. Bring your motherfucking ass outside without the gun.
No, baby, get back. Oh my God.
So what I will say is the way he knocked on his door, despite the fact that his son was incorrect, wasn't the wisest way to go about it. He should not have been that elevated. He totally, I mean, I get it. Like, I'd have been pissed too. But that wasn't going to be a productive that conversation couldn't have possibly been productive. If somebody knocks on my door like that too, like if you come outside and we talk like an adult, I'd have felt some type of way too. I probably would come with my gun, you know, but at the same time, I mean, it's a reaction, I guess. Like for every action is an equal or greater reaction. That's just how it happens, you know.
I think that's the problem. Like we always react instead of respond, and that takes time to think through what you want to do and how you want to handle the situation and what you want the outcome to be. That's the difference between responding and just reacting out of emotion. And I do agree with Courtney. Like our race is known to be reactionary, emotional, and I think that gets played on a lot. I had a similar situation happen when I was in high school. I would get off the bus and I would be harassed by one particular young man, and every day he would follow me home and he would say nasty, inappropriate, disgusting things. And one day I told my father, and every day he would do this. So we walked over to once his mother got home, we walked over to the young man's house. And my dad knocked on the door and he said, I would like to speak with your mother. And he asked to speak with the mother, and he was calm, cool, collected. He said, your son has been harassing my daughter, and I'd like us all to sit down and have a conversation. And we did. And the young man ended up apologizing to me, and he never bothered me again after that. But I feel like he wasn't emotional when we went over there. He was looking for a resolve, not trying to start a fight. So. And I think even now, no,
because this not a joke. This not a joke. People think I know he get tricked when I put this up. If JR, you can blow my screen up, and so we can see. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can review. Look, no, and you see, people say that I ain't shit for this. No, look, I'm just showing you. This is not a whip. This literally can be anything that any young kid could have just picked up out the yard. He could have did anything. But we're triggered now because we officially think that this is some type of whip, and then we're thinking about slavery. Now it got this racial overtone. So now we're gonna be super emotional about everything. We know how kids do. They pick up stuff out of the yard. They pick up stuff out of the garage. Let's still, like I say, if this was a little black boy right here instead of this little white boy, which looked like a little nerdy little white boy, by the way, and we know kids. Would this little nerdy looking kid right here get bullied in his neighborhood? Let's be honest. If this kid was black and looked like this, would he get bullied in his neighborhood? Yes or no?
Yeah, most likely.
Hey man, look here. First of all, what they call bullying now is different from what I had to deal with. This is some bullshit. I wouldn't be crying bully. You better fight or get your ass whooped every goddamn day. I didn't cry about I got a bully, but that's a different story. Like I said, regardless if he had a whip or a stick in his hand or not, I don't give a shit. The boy's banging on my goddamn door, man. That's disrespectful. I'm gonna tell you again. Now, come to find out, like I said, they couldn't get along. They already had an incident. There's no need to even go over it now, dog. He should have straight called the police, got the stuff on paper, and then if the police weren't gonna do nothing there, like I said, find some legal representation and go to civil court and deal with it there. I ain't got time for this bullshit.
Is that normal? Is that normal? See, we in the emotions right now. Thinking about whipping.
Maybe a lot of people ain't, but me, that's what I would have did.
We have to be adults. Do kids do this type of stuff?
Logic. If you have children, how would you have handled it?
That's what I was going to ask you, Logic.
I can understand. We can say how we handle it, but now this has became a race issue. We can say, everybody can say that they would have handled it exactly different, and I totally understand. But these two parents did not handle it like we would have handled it. But now let's deal with the facts of it. Is a kid banging on another kid's door after allegedly being bullied? And I'm going to say allegedly because you can't even find that police report. Everything she said, it's no record of it. It's alleged. Everything that lady said is alleged. But because we so emotional with the whip story, you see they add in, oh, he's known for saying racist things and stuff like that. Now we're in our feelings. And now we falling into the Jesse Smollett trap all over again. That when we found out, even though that it said, hold up, a little kid with a whip, this little nerdy kid, he probably get his ass whooped all up and down the neighborhood. And we know this. But we
have been better if it was a broom or a bat.
Chicago that Jesse Smollett was getting a damn sub sandwich at 2:00 in the morning, and there was some MAGA people waiting on him with a MAGA hat, put a noose around his neck, and pour bleach on him, and he make a fool out of the whole black community, and we falling for it again.
Logic.
Okay, let me just say this first.
Don't move the goalposts, Logic. Don't do that. That's totally different.
Let me just say this first. We Chicagoans were the one that called cap on Jesse Smollett. That's why they spent
immediately
money to investigate because we called cap first and foremost.
You get a making America hat great again hat smacked off your damn head on the red line.
We called cap day one.
We knew that was cap immediately. You walking down the middle of downtown with a damn make America great again hat. Somebody smacked that shit right off your head.
But brother,
no, Logic. All right, we understand, Logic. We understand.
He made a fool out of the black community because he knew it will get emotional.
Well, Logic, I'm gonna push back on you because right now you are making assumptions. You're not speaking any facts right now based on the video. We don't know. You're right. We don't know what it is, but he had an object in his hand he was using aggressively on their property. Yes. There's just no way around it. Right? Right or wrong?
Amber, I did not deny that. See, this is what y'all realizing. Y'all making the assumptions. I'm seeing here, y'all, it went from a whip to a weapon. Now we call it wait.
Oh my word.
You said a weapon.
Anything in your hand. It could be a brick. It could be a toy. It could be a Nerf gun. Anything to use it can be a damn pick.
Is this a weapon?
Anything you're using to aggressively imply anger could be a weapon.
Ma'am, we will
use as a weapon, Logic. Don't do that.
that this is a item. Now, the only thing that can turn this possum into the weapon is the user. You got a 9-year-old kid, and you want to sit here and tell me to my face that a 9-year-old kid look like he got some shit that he probably pulled out of the yard or garage. It's a weapon. See, we plan into this scenario.
And so why do you think he went over with that stick though, Lodge? You don't think he was going to use that as a weapon on their son? That he feels like there was a person that was bullying him? You don't think he was going to use that as a weapon?
Hey,
That's what that was going to use for. He didn't use that for nothing. He didn't use that just to have a conversation.
This is how that black couple gonna make y'all look like big ass fools. That boy knew that son was in that house, but you hear how they said it. That's why you got no police report. She said, y'all see, we don't listen. She said, my son was not even there. He was in school. So you think this little boy know who they playing games with y'all. I'm telling you, and you still they getting emotional and y'all having this because y'all thinking it's some kind of racist shit. I guarantee you.
I don't care.
The father did make a racist statement while they was on the porch. Now
I probably hear that. Black. I'm sorry.
He made a racist statement while he's on the porch.
Well,
I don't care if that boy is black. I don't care if that kid. I don't care if that boy is black, white, yellow, green, anywhere in between. Get your goof ass off my porch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where is your parents at, or who is parenting you that you at 9 years old think it's cool to walk up on somebody's porch and beat on a damn door? Right. You know what I mean? So, no, this tells kids being kids. That's exactly what the hell would have happened if I would have went next door and beat on my neighbor's house with a damn stick at 9 years old. Somebody would have grabbed me by my collar and asked what my problem is. That's getting missed in this conversation. Why is your child on my porch?
And
because
I do have a question. Why are we focusing on the narrative instead of literally what's the results of what happened between the parents? Exactly. We're so focused on the narrative and the possible potential propaganda. Let's look at what actually happened, because two kids fighting end up a gun getting shot in the air and neighbors fighting. Either way is not good. So why are we focusing on the narrative?
No matter what color. Right. Well, I think we're focused on the video, and the video has become the narrative. And what I think me and Mr. Logic is saying is that you don't know what happened prior to. So before we create the narrative and get upset, we need to see it in its entirety, exactly what happened. And what I find interesting, that the mom, when the boy came on the porch and was banging, she wasn't shocked. Now, me as a mother, if someone is banging at my door with whatever it is in his hand, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell? What is the... In confusion. Because that doesn't happen unless it's happened before. And then my tone is going to be different. Maybe you'll get on somewhere, because obviously this has happened before. The mother's reaction tells me that I know that this... they've been having problems. That little boy has probably been on that porch before. And her son probably been on their porch before. And so you call that mutual, it's a mutual, whatever. They both been doing it. Both been going at it. If that was me as a mom banging on my door, I'm going to be surprised. What the hell is going on? Confusion. She wasn't confused.
People react differently, though. We can't say she wasn't confused.
You don't know what happened prior to.
Exactly. None of us.
You don't know what happened prior to.
But so we see what happened there.
We cannot come with any conclusion.
Right. But it feels very much like what happens in the news. A black person is killed. They go searching for all the things they did wrong in their past to kind of poke holes in or make it less tragic to accept. But a white person gets killed. It's like they were this Ivy League person that did so much in the community and this, that, and the next. It feels very, it's giving Yeah, it's giving
You're not being.
And
That's
no,
not true. When police kill
right
white
there,
folks, they
and we're
don't show it
talking
on the
about all the
news.
things we don't know versus the things that we do know right in front of our
When police kill white people, and they do it majority and more than they kill black folks, it's not on the news. A lot of those stories, and there's worse stories than George Floyd. There's worse stories than Tamar Rice's that has happened to white folks.
But
it does not make the news.
I'm just talking about the spin here. I'm talking about the fact that we're literally seeing that this little boy was at somebody's door. It's not even about the fact that he's a little white boy. He was at somebody's door with a weapon in hand, banging on his door, being completely disrespectful, and we're choosing to act as though we don't know what took place, so we don't know why we blah 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 blah.
No one's acting that way. What we're saying, we don't know what happened. It could have been 15 minutes prior to the son could have been banging and knocking on that door. So if we would have saw a video of him doing that 15 minutes prior to, would that not change how you think of the situation?
It would, but it's evident that that's not what
that's
took
what
place.
We're saying.
They went and they spoke to exactly what took place. We saw a few clips that showed us what took place.
They did. However, what they said is not in the police report. So what we're saying is that we can't go off a 15-second clip of a kid showing bad behavior, not knowing what might have happened 13 minutes prior to. It's getting the whole entire story, and then you then you judge it upon that. That's all anyone is saying.
Well, hey, all that sounds good and fine and dandy. The legal system should be handling the situation. I'm not going to sit there and play with you. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth with you. Like I said, if we can't handle civilly, then guess what? I'm gonna let the legal system. I'm gonna call the police, and I don't give a damn if that little boy I don't want to be on my son's record. Fuck your son. Let it be on your son's record. His little badass shouldn't be banging on my goddamn door. Now, if it's on his record, it's on his record. Y'all deal with that. That ain't my problem. But I'm sure gonna file some paper. I'm gonna get them on paper. And then if the police don't want to do anything right then and there, like I said, we're gonna handle it civilly. And we'll let the courts handle it. I'm not gonna sit there and go back and forth.
Hey man, I believe there's more to it.
I'm sorry, Jay.
No, you good, girl.
Hey, JR, can I ask you this story? Because I don't know why I can do this and now the feeling people, they can't do this. And I just want you to see how this is playing into the narrative. This is revolt, right? Black neighbor house carrying a whip. Look at the image they put there. You don't see how this playing? Look, watch this.
Ain't that the thing the strippers use? The kinks that don't look like a horse whip. They look like
It's a horse whip. Well,
I don't with horse with that, bro. You better
realize, you know what? It don't matter. All right, take me off. It don't matter. Hey, I'm good. It don't matter. Look, y'all right. Shit, the goddamn.
Nah.
I know where you're going with it.
Yeah. Hey, they did that with OJ on the Time magazine, Logic. They did OJ like that.
Yeah, one at a time. They can't hear us, y'all. One at a time.
You know who got the story before the cops got the story?
Black Twitter.
Media.
Instagram.
Black Twitter.
And TMZ had the story before the cops had the story. See, this is what I'm saying. Y'all playing the same game, and it's so easy to get y'all. That's why all I got to do is get somebody out there to text y'all nigga, and then y'all will explode, and they'll come out there and they can, you know what? It don't matter. Y'all right.
OJ like that.
This kind of one. I'm gonna go ahead. After Kelly, I'm gonna transition. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess this is my personal opinion. I don't really care the color of the people. I think what the little boy did was disrespectful. As a child, you shouldn't do that. I get it. Children react because they don't have the cognitive skills to discuss things like adults. But I do think how he handled it as a child was disrespectful, and it needed to be corrected by an adult, no matter which color. And the problem I have with parents today is they're so busy trying to defend their child, they're not willing to even discuss it with adults anymore. Back in the day, like Lady I think said, if there was a problem, the adults talk to each other. But now it's like, don't you touch my daughter, da, 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 da. And then the parents end up getting in a fight, which is freaking ridiculous in my opinion. Like, why can't you just have no matter what color, if it was black, white, green, gray, whatever, you should be able to have a civil discussion about what two children did, and police shouldn't be involved. You need to spank your kid if there's a problem. But that's just me. I'm old school in that.
Right. Back in the day, sometimes the parents didn't even have to speak to each other. Your kid did something, I saw it, I corrected your child, and that was just the end of it. Teach your child. Like, it was usually like people were like within a community were on like the same page as it relates to how our children were supposed to show up, or how we, because I was a child back then, was supposed to show up. I wasn't going to be outside showing my behind, acting fast, being disrespectful to adults, because an adult up and me and then go tell my mother, and then my mother would check me after that. So it's just like, come on.
You should have been able to go to the neighbor, like, hey, your kid was over here doing this. It's a little wild. Can you talk to him? Absolutely. It won't happen again. That's how it should be, no matter what color.
All right, I'm gonna transition real quick. If you guys just tuning in, make sure you guys get them likes up. Also subscribe to the channel. But there was a story, or there was an interview that Akon did with Vlad TV. This video was about a year ago. I'm not gonna play the video, but Akon said Africans no longer think about slavery. Black Americans still blame the past. Real quick, what are you guys' thoughts about that?
I mean, I think
which Africans?
No.
Which Africans? You know what I'm saying? Is he talking about Africans in America or Africans in Africa? Because either way, hell yeah, you're not thinking about slavery. They weren't in slavery. Like, well, okay, I'm not even. Yeah, so now we're gonna have to go down the ADOS rabbit hole, and I don't even. No, bro.
That's why I thought I knew this was gonna happen.
Y'all go.
I think I'm gonna skip past this one. The way this one seemed like it's gonna go, I can already see the fire in some of you guys' eyes.
I feel like he was
skip past that.
Good topic.
In other news, we still building up to the main topic. I got one more topic before we get to
Jayda Cheaves.
But Courtney has something to say.
We're gonna come back to it on the back end.
No.
Maybe we go back to it. Yeah, maybe go back to it up on the back end. I just see you guys' faces, and I don't know. I think I want to probably be a little bit safe on this one. On the back end. Anyhow, I think we should address this. Say for Thursday? Oh, maybe we'll see. I think this story came out about Logic's homie. So let's go ahead and break this down real quick. So Pastor Jamal Harris and Brian throw shade at Kevin Samuels.
They are friends.
I know Logic really wanted to discuss this. Yeah. You know, Kevin talked about Logic a few times on his late night streams. So I knew that Logic was triggered by this pastor. And seeing how it's Sunday, I think it was only right for us to talk about the pastor. Church say amen.
Amen.
You are listening to men who have no authority. How can a man say that you are of low value after 35? How can a man say that you do not have the level of traction of a high-powered man when that man has got to get a GoFundMe for his funeral? Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. You got to be in that place where you operate in the authority of God. Look at another sister around and tell them, it's not that I hate men. Come on, look at another sister, say,
well, he got all his sheep in order, don't he? He got all his sheep in order, don't he?
Yeah, I didn't mean to turn that off by accident, man.
Saying amen and taking that money while he's reaching his left hand in the pockets.
That's your pastor.
Don't get him too off. Put that money, your father.
Is that your king?
Straight flipping them off. Is that your man, Logic?
I don't even know who that dude is, man. He in Atlanta?
He's in Atlanta now. He used to be in Baltimore.
Oh,
He's all the way around you, Logic. He's all the way around you, Logic. That's your
Yeah,
So
I
you
was what
telling
we.
me the pastor who was married, who had 2 kids out of wedlock with 2 members of his church, got something to say?
Damn.
Amber
Shake
came
your hand in one hand, got his left hand in your pocket.
Be pulpit pimps, you know.
Yeah, yeah, pulpit pimps.
I just want to just make sure we talk
Shout
about the
out to
same person,
Nashville.
same pastor.
I don't know. Logic goes to his church. How is it?
Damn,
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, you gonna, like I said, he's not gonna pretty much go against anything. Pretty much Kevin Samuels' talking point, any talking points like that will go against the narrative that he pushed. You know what I'm saying? We all know that most women go to church, so he gotta protect his that's his income. He gonna have to do it. He gonna have to stand up, protect his income. And if it's mostly women in that church, he's not gonna say nothing against women. He gonna go along with that narrative. And then now he wouldn't have said that when Kevin Samuels was alive, because instead of the debate would have happened. So now this is an opportune time for him to do that.
Which is disgusting.
Logic keeping it funky, huh?
It's
You
disgusting.
want to be a
that man was
millionaire.
up there, how moist them women was while he was up in the front row, just the sound of his voice talking bad about KS, baby. They was moist.
It was people in the chat.
About him starting a GoFundMe.
They was turned on by it.
In church. That was a little disturbing to me. But is that even true?
Hold on, Lady T, hold on. I was talking now. Let me finish my discussion, please.
Pardon me.
It's all right. This ain't Thursday. I got you. But man, these women,
What you're
man,
not gonna do is keep taking shots on Thursday.
All
right. That's what you're not gonna do.
Chill out.
Every show is a great show on the LAPEEF
I
Network.
know that's right, JR. I know that's right. The mothership. Hey, but
yeah, we
the
support all
mothership.
around equally.
What?
Hey,
Don't
look,
you
man,
know?
it's crazy,
Know where that
man.
came from?
Hey, it's crazy. This dude's like Amber said, this dude's a hypocrite amongst the second degree. But like Logic said, he's not gonna mess up his investments. He's not gonna his investors. He need them. He need them ladies. Want to say what he needs to do to keep them smiling, keep them happy. So for all we know, he's probably sending them all the rose. They all got the rose in the mail, feeling more.
Look at God.
I just think
Look at God. God. Nah, what?
a little out of place. Like that wasn't a pulpit talk. That I don't even know why he brought that up.
He paid attention to the feedback. A lot of women openly celebrated, the untimely passing of Kevin Samuels, and he played into it.
And that was horrible. Like, I don't care what you think about somebody, to celebrate their death is wicked. Like, you ain't no better than that person in their death than you feel like they were in their life. If you can sit there and celebrate that.
And you know what? If you take a look, and I mean, y'all can do this maybe in the next 2 months, 3 months, watch the men that are fighting on behalf of women, women who are not deserving of a certain status. Just keep an eye on the men that are defending. Like, you look at, for instance, I give Joe Button, I give, like a few, look at the guys who are fighting for women in that capacity where we're just trying to have conversations. Keep an eye on them, because what I've noticed, these guys that are fighting that fight, if you look into their past, they have usually been terrible to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain people, we just want to have the conversation. Some people feel slighted. Some people feel like the game is rigged, whatever the case may be, but they've been honestly out there trying and just losing at the game. But if you pay attention to the guys who are like this pastor, you know what I'm saying? Pull back the curtain, you'll see that he was a F-boy, or he was a grease ball really doing women dirty. And now he feels like he might feel like he has to overcompensate for the trash that he did in the past. You know what I mean? So he's not going to sit here and listen to logical conversations that we're trying to have.
Yeah, I think this again. This has been very consistent with me on this show. Is people using things that they know that would trigger an audience to benefit them without knowing the whole story of a thing. Bishop Jamal Bryant doesn't watch KS's content. He can only go from what he saw as clips or what other people were saying. So even that statement he said that KS said, if you're over 35, you're low in value. It's not what he preached. We talked about sexual market value that has nothing to do with who you are as a person. It's about what you bring as far as sexually to a man, your fertility and things like that, which is true. After 35, your fertility rate is not as high as it is in your 20s. So that's just what it is. So, but he doesn't know that. But he knows if he says that to those flock of women that love him, that he sleeps with, that has babies out of wedlock with, shout out Giselle Bryant. If he can speak to them and this prosperity preaching, then he can get his money up, which a lot of people has been profiting off of Kevin Samuels. If he would have done his due research as far as with the GoFundMe, Melanie King said that was fake. That was not her. Even the wording of the GoFundMe, it said that she was doing they were related. They're not related. That's not a brother. So that was a flaw even in the GoFundMe. He didn't do his due diligence. He didn't do any research. He just went off the emotions of what some women were saying, what that GoFundMe said, but not knowing if that really was a real GoFundMe. And he was able to do it, talk to his flock, all those women, and get a good payday. And that's what's wrong again, consistently. It's understanding that we get triggered easily without knowing the facts. You don't even have to know the facts. I could just say this to you, and it's a payday. And that's what he did, and that's what he's always done.
And
so,
you
Courtney,
gotta
you think they dropped a little something extra in the collection plate?
Oh yeah, man, you can get the woman go. I know, because I've worked in the spirit and might have donated a couple. I mean, I'm a church girl.
Yeah.
So I guess my issue with men like that, I know he's a pastor and I don't want to disrespect his anointing or whatever, but men like that and the other men on whatever shows they have is they want women to stay single. They thrive on that because the women make that man their God and their Lord. Like they're like, oh, but if they had good husbands, their husband would be their authority and not this preacher or whoever they're looking up to. So the thing I loved about Kevin Samuels is his goal was to get couples together. He was trying to bring a reality check to both men and women. So they are like, okay, you know what am I sitting around waiting for being single? Let me just get with, like, you know what I mean? Like he didn't, he tried to bring clarity to our false thought processes. So women are sitting around to their 40s waiting for this guy to come along that they think that they can achieve. He's like, no, you need to marry the guy that's right in front of you. He's probably been there for you. He's probably been trying to get you, but you're holding out for what? So I think his ultimate goal was to bring people together, which is what I appreciate about him.
Jay is absolutely correct regarding being mindful of men and leadership and their message and who their target audience is. I've seen firsthand just as the pattern, men that politicians, leaders, pastors, thought leaders who specifically pander to women only are typically are very high manipulators, womanizers, and they're doing some shady shit behind the scenes because they cannot measure up or do that shit with men. So Jay is absolutely correct. So pay attention to their narrative and specifically their target market and audience.
Yep, it was definitely given very much Devin. What's his name? Derek Jackson 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
His name, Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Listen, yeah, you don't want to wind up on the couch with a bonnet holding your husband's hand after he cheated. You know what I'm saying? That's how you wind up in that situation.
You're right. I couldn't think of his name. He was given Derek Jackson.
And then you got to look at the platforms. Like, you know, when I first saw Kevin Samuels videos and the way that they were presented and framed, you know, it was like the Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked. You know what I mean? That's when I first saw it before I actually went and looked it up on YouTube. And they put those on there because, you know, I hate to say it, those are like feminist websites. You know, look at what this guy's doing. Look at what this guy's saying. You know, let's take him down. Like, and they rally together and make that stuff happen. I mean, I'm sure y'all seen plenty of times on YouTube where somebody goes up and says, you know, go to this channel and report it because of an opinion. You know what I mean? And they make it happen, you know, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah, women definitely need to. I think women definitely need to pay attention to two outcomes. Look at what happened with Derek Jackson, and look at what happened with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels left this world with a bunch of money in his pocket, knocking down something he wanted to knock down. Your boy Derek Jackson's career was over after he got caught putting things in places they weren't supposed to go.
No,
One
it ain't
person
over. He's
lied
still
to him.
thriving. No, it ain't over.
Right.
He's still
Well, I mean,
way
for the
better.
most part, yeah, one person's narrative died a flaming death, and the other person died exactly as the man he said he was. And when women have a hard time sorting that out sometimes, like I talk about this all the time when we meet in a Facebook group talking about, oh, there's no good men out there. There's no such thing as a good man. It's all relative, right? You know what I mean? So the
breaking up.
Yeah, but I say this: the purpose. That's what my
idea that there are men out there that will give you
In and out the matrix.
You breaking up.
I just say that's why I started off is because you can disagree with like little measures within Kevin Samuels' overall goal that he was trying to reach, but the overall goal is still needed for the Black community. And I think when his goal will derail a lot of platforms, and the church is one of the platforms that it would derail. Like it'll derail the what's the other guy named
Derek Jackson.
Yeah, Derek Jackson. It would derail his platform because you got to realize that it's a pandering platform. It's to make you feel good. It's to deal with your emotions. So now when you got Kevin Samuels coming in, and then even though he's not really like he wasn't a rude man, but his message messed with people's pockets. I think somebody said it. The church love women, especially Black ones. You know what I'm saying? They message hold Black women back for the most part. So now, yes, I expect more pastors to speak out about Kevin Samuels now because he's no longer here, and they can never sit here and say, hey, let's debate this. Let's debate your talking points. And then that's why now is the opportune time to attack him and do whatever you want to do to him.
So then what is the end result? Because we talk about how women want to be led. Obviously, women, we look for leaders. We start with the church. So now that the narrative is possibly being dismantled, what is the solution? Is everybody looking for the next leader?
For our men.
And what is she looks like? And what's the narrative of the message?
That's a good one. I think Kevin Samuels' message was, his overall message was still solid. You know what I'm saying? It was solid as still. It's something that men and women know to be true. It's overall message. You know what? We need to actually get back with the nuclear family. We need to start doing this. We need to start actually having realistic expectations out of our men and our women. I think he had the same energy across the board for men and women. And I think that message should still stand. We should be realistic. And moving forward, I think we all know this inside. I think it's something that is like one of them truths that we try to hide, but we all know that's why I think people was attracted to these messages from Kevin Samuels, because deep down inside, men and women knew it was true. That's why
women used to call it.
That's why the women couldn't get away from it, because deep down inside they knew what he was saying was absolutely true. But like anything, a lot of times our women don't want to be told the truth. They don't want that healthy food. They don't want things that's good for their body and their soul. They want comfort food. They want somebody to give them the Twinkies and the cupcakes and give them stuff that say, hey, look, you know what? This tastes good, but even though it's not good for you, it's going to taste good. That's what they want. So now they will go anywhere to get that.
You know what? I just made a connection.
I like that.
I just made a connection. Because you saw what they did to Louis Farrakhan. They completely banned him on all social media.
Yep.
And a lot of what he was saying was tied into what talking points with Kevin Samuels. And they completely banned him on all social media platforms, calling it terrorism. I just thought about that.
Yeah, the difference between Minister Farrakhan and Kevin, though, is that Minister Farrakhan he was speaking truth to power, but he wasn't attacking Black women verbally in a way that would make them feel lesser than.
And
Wait,
he
wasn't
wasn't
attack-
Kevin Samuels wasn't attacking women either.
I was just about to say,
It wasn't
was that attack?
okay,
So
but that's the perception, right? Because if you're telling someone that you like in absolutes, that based on how they're showing up in the world, you're drawing a conclusion for how their life is going to end up. That's like fear mongering. You know what I mean?
Well,
well,
hold on. He
That's
never
not what
talked.
he did.
He never.
did.
I'm gonna let the ladies go.
reality.
Yeah, he didn't talk in absolutes. And as a matter of fact, his platform was specifically towards or geared to a 10% type of man that seemed like 90% of women wanted. And we cannot, it is a fact that how you show up in the world, your image is going to dictate a lot of your outcomes. How you present yourself is going to dictate a lot of your outcomes, whether relationship wise, career wise, it will dictate it. And I don't think Kevin Samuels didn't say anything that was a nuance. So his message will forever stand. What made Kevin Samuels, because he had the ability to articulate it in a way where it went damn near mainstream. It wasn't barbershop talks. It wasn't I'm hanging out with my boys at a bar and we're discussing women, because everything that Kevin Samuels has said, men have always been saying it. Women just haven't listened. And he was able to, again, say it in a way where it got our attention. And this was the first time that women were listening to a man that wasn't pandering to us, but saying you need to get your shit together. And because your outcome is not what it is.
Right.
And what you're wanting, but you're listening to Derek Jackson and he's still getting us the same result. And that's broken homes, loneliness, sadness, McDonald's, and Hennessy.
My point was a reaction.
And I don't want to get deep into like the Kevin Samuels versus Farrakhan, but I'm just noticing now a pattern. Like, where is our Black leaders who are not pandering to Black women, which are the highest consumers, but where are our male Black leaders who call for action of responsibility across the board? Where are they?
Right.
You know, I'm seeing a pattern. You know, it's a trend. Where are they? So I'm directing more towards the leadership in our community.
But Farrakhan does that. You don't think
But they banned him. He's no longer
right, and that was my
that's
point.
what I'm saying.
That was my point. It wasn't so much what Kevin Samuel to say that. It was just saying that because Kevin Samuels was so disruptive, because there was let's be real here. The media sometimes likes people that play into the contention and play into the disruptive narratives. So
they don't.
He's not gonna get banned if he's doing that. You know, there was somewhat of a divide made. Like, there are people that legitimately aren't friends with other people based on the fact that they agree with or disagree with Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? But as it comes to Minister Farrakhan, he holds everyone's feet to the fire too.
That's not true, Lady T. That's not true.
What's not true?
What you said that the social media would keep him on. No, it's not. They don't do anytime. See, this is the thing. Anytime, and it's not just a Black thing. It's a everything against the norms. You know what I'm saying? You can go with Trump. You can go with anything that's different, that don't go with the narrative. It gets banned. It gets taken down. And but I'm just saying that they don't like that.
Elon Musk gonna fix that.
And I don't want to take this back to Trump, but if you look at the things that was released that he said, no other president in history had the balls to actually tell the people this. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give you, and I'm kind of getting off the topic, but I think it's important, right? He got me to start reading bills. When he was rejecting, I forgot what bill it was, and he kept rejecting it, and he said, "I'm not gonna sign a bill that have $100 million going to Iran for gender reassignment." I said, "What?" And most people didn't look at it. And then because we see the topic of the bill and we'll say either yes or no, and then you know what I'm saying, we'll go along with it. I read that bill. I said, you gotta be. He got me to start reading these bills. That's why you see every now I be quoting these bills. I quote these executive orders because that man on Twitter got me to start reading these bills. And when I saw that bill, and I think I put it on YouTube, and I said, look at this. And then nobody could believe me. And it was a crazy bill. It was like, it'll be some crazy bill like the Green New Deal. And then you remember he was kicking that bill back, said, no, I'm not going to sign it. And he exploded on the scene and said, have you read this bill? I'm not going to send money to these other countries to do that. And then you start seeing it. I was like, oh, wow. And ever since then, I started reading it. And then that's why they got rid of him. That's why they got rid of him.
And so I understand that what Lady T is saying, because my good friend, she actually said this the other day. The reason they banned Farrakhan, because he always called for organization, the nuclear family, for us to be thinking God, man, had children. And this is how we're going to operate as a unit. We're going to create our own currency. We're going to do this. Kevin Samuels, no matter what side of the fence, is seen as chaos. So I now understand what you're saying, Lady T.
That's all I was saying. Like, literally. It wasn't so much even agreeing or disagreeing with his rhetoric. It was just the way he goes about it, the way they each go about it, and what's more acceptable or what will be what they want us to see versus like what they want us to see and feel. To Courtney and Logic's point earlier about them playing to our emotions versus what they want us to accomplish, so.
And they're going to take little clips, like if you notice, there'll be stuff that, and this is not just Kevin Samuels, just people that are, captivate an audience like them, Farrakhan and Kevin Samuels. They'll find clips, small little snippets of something said that, is outrageous to most in that small clip. But when you listen to it in its totality, it's like, okay, I understand the context. But they'll specifically take those clips and they'll hold them in the tuck. They might not put them out right away, but please believe they'll have a folder of this type of stuff. And then when the time is right, boom, they shoot it out. Social media, you seeing, oh, he said this. And, it's like a smear campaign. You notice they do that.
They did that to Joe Rogan. And that's
Joe
how
Rogan.
they hold all it was a whole, and it's just like, where did this come from? And NDRE had a whole thing of him nigga, and it was like, well, this is interesting. So they did the exact same thing to Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. And you know why they did it to Joe Rogan?
Are they trying to shut him up?
Oh, but
Yeah, I do. Are you talking about the shot?
Yes.
Yes.
So when he started, and that's what I say to people, I was like, and I be begging people just to understand one thing. If big media is for it, then that means you need to question it. Because Joe Rogan was a lefty for a long time. They loved him.
They did.
As soon as he started asking questions about certain things, bringing certain people up, not just random Joe Blow people, he was bringing professional people up to have professional dialogue, and then he invited both sides of the party. When he started doing that, the first time he got on their radar is when he did the Twitter thing, when he was exposing Twitter with Tim Pool. If you haven't, go look at that. It'll blow your mind. And then now we started seeing how all this play out. But that's why I say we got to pay attention, man. It's crazy because I was telling JR just the other day. I was like, you know what? It's a lot of political issues, and I guess Lapeef-ING is that thing. It's a lot of political issues we need to talk about. Yes, because it's deep, and like I said, it's I'm not the smartest guy, but I listen and I research, and I see here and I want to gain understanding. I'm not just gonna take a story and run with it. Like soon as I saw this little whip story, I just started researching.
Okay, Logic, can I just say this? Because, and I completely wholeheartedly understand, and this is my job. I help create narratives and sometimes propaganda for clients. I just want to focus on what we would do as parents in that situation. I wholeheartedly agree with you about being triggered, because what is the first thing you learn in media? The phrase they always say is, if it bleeds, it leads. It doesn't matter if it's truth or not. If it's sensationalized and create a moment of who can report it first, that's what they're going to go with. But still, I'm going back to my question, because this is about leadership. If we have a lot of men who are pandering to Black women, pandering to their emotions, why would another Black man like Kevin Samuels or Farrakhan's, why would they go against the grain and show and speak accountability and organization as a nuclear family if they're going to keep being canceled or shunned? Where's the leadership going to come from? Or is this going to be how it's going to be?
We gotta, like I said, we have to be logical people that we base things on facts. And I had a conversation with a beautiful young lady the other day about just dealing with stuff from facts. And I'm less emotional and I'm more factual. And the thing is she made some good points. But what we gotta realize is that we have to deal with facts. We have to get up our feelings. They know how to trigger us. So is this Black person or Black leader gonna be spearheaded up out of nowhere? I said maybe might be another one, but we don't need that. We need a collective group, because now it's no head to take down. It's no Mr. Farrakhan to take down. It's no and I'm just throwing out the names we talked about. It's no Joe Rogan to take down. It's no Kevin Samuels to take down. When it's a unified effort, and then we talk to our women in our house, we talk to our women in our community, we talk to our men in our community, and we just sit here and say, let's deal with facts over feelings. That's why the conversation with Avon was so hard earlier today, because I understand why he's doing it, but he's coming from an emotional standpoint, and it will hold us back, because I just want to deal with the facts. If we're going to talk about politics, you know what we need to do? Let's not talk about politicians. Let's talk about politics. Let's say damn, it's crazy. I used to do this. I used to say, you know what? I used to put up the two issues. These are the policies that these candidates want to cover. Now, let's discuss that, and not let's discuss the person. Because if you start discussing the person, it's easy to smear. It's easy to see him getting your feelings. It's easy to say, oh, his name Trump is bad, or this is a woman. I want to deal with the policies. And if we deal with the policies, we just deal with straight facts. No feelings involved. And that's how we're going to move as a people. And then we'll create more than leaders. We'll create a community by dealing with facts. I'm sorry.
So then, okay, I'm
what,
sorry, Kelly.
Kelly.
I have the answer.
What is it?
I think the leadership needs to start back in the home, which means we all need to get married and have that strong male leader in the home, which I'm looking at the panel and I'm not sure who's married on this panel and who's not. So the answer is we should have a Lapeef dating show.
Logic, I have a question. Logic, I have a question for you.
Yay, Kelly!
Don't you think?
Logic, I have a question. Now, listen, Logic. I don't have the facts. This is what I'm just speaking Logic. My spiritual mentor always told me this. He said,
"I like it.
5% of people are 5% of people are doers. 10% are watchers, and the other percentage is pretty much followers. Am I correct or am I wrong? Am I correct?
For sure.
I mean,
meaning people are sheeples. They're sheep. The term sheeples. People need to be led. People want to be led. A lot of people want to be told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
A good percentage watch, and a smaller percentage actually leads and do.
Yes.
So if majority of us, if the majority of the human population are followers, somebody has to lead.
I thought it was 1, 5, 10. 1% are doing.
That's why I'm like, I forgot the numbers, but
yeah, it's 1% are doers, 5% are watchers,
and
10%. 10% actually. Wait, 1% apply, 5% do, 10% watch, and then the rest follow the follow.
Right.
So you saying that it needs to be a man because women are followers.
That's been the pattern. That's been the pattern.
Okay,
right?
but see, the thing is that when we try to tell women what to follow, what to look at, they tell us no.
The problem is you don't tell us with your mouths. You're supposed to tell us with your actions.
Okay. All right, let's see. I don't know.
That's an example right there. What your logic you was talking about right there.
The thing is, you wait. I'm just wait. Just let me finish before you prove my point. You know, I like you on here because everything I say, you prove me right. The thing I'm saying is just listen to me though. The thing is that yes, they're followers, but a lot of time in our community, our women already chose who they will follow. They already chose what they will listen to. And I told you earlier, it's two different type of it's comfort food and it's healthy food. They choose to listen to what is comfortable to them.
What makes them feel good.
And then that's not so if it's healthy, because let's be honest, right? I'm gonna ask a question, right? Courtney, is it fair to say I always talk about actually going to the whitehouse.gov and look at these orders and look at these bills, right?
Every day.
Do anybody do that though?
No.
So now,
no.
Lady T, the thing is I put that out there. I can't make you do it. You have to want to do it. Because what I said to you is healthy. It's good for your soul. But guess what? It's not comfortable. Derek Jackson and all these guys who say, hey, you beautiful queens and all that kind of stuff like that. That's comfort food. I don't issue out comfort food. I issue out stuff that's healthy. And all you got to do to prove me wrong is to please read that bill, that new Green Deal bill, the first version of it. And then so you can see what I was saying. So now you can start realizing that it's bigger. We need to be on information. We need to deal with facts. So now when we have these conversations, we can see and say, you know what, Joe Biden, we know where you sent money to. So don't never tell me you cannot do student debt forgiveness because you have the money. It's where you want to allocate it to. See, let's start talking with facts because every time when we have any kind of dialogue with any kind of political person, they put up memes up there. Cardi B, Charlamagne the God, Megan Thee Stallion. Because guess what? They don't look at orders. They don't know what these politicians doing. They there to give us a level of comfort.
So Logic, I have a question for you. How do we, because it's evident, right? The comfort is more normal than the healthy, right? So if we've learned that comfort food is our norm, how do we unlearn what we were taught about comfort being what's good for us when, healthy just hasn't been what we've been given? Like,
Let's do this. Ooh, I got you. Check this out. The first topic we discussed was what? Candace Owens, right? Right? Healthy conversation, right? What she produced is a level of healthy conversation, but it's not comfortable for Black people because she's married to a what?
Oh,
daddy.
A white man.
And guess what else? She have conservative views, so it's not comfortable to them. So now, even though what she's delivering is healthy information, we want to accept it because it's not comfortable. Like we'll sit here and we'll accept her, even though we know that the Supreme Court justice that just got put in She was just put in because she was black, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy for us because, let's be honest, most black politicians that's put in situations, including Barack Obama, including her, including Kamala Harris, have they been healthy for us, or was it comfortable for us to say, we got a black woman vice president, we got a black woman Supreme Court justice, and we got a black president? It's comfort food. And because they know we like comfort food,
they keep serving it to us.
They keep serving it to us, and it serves us nothing. It's not healthy for us. Actually, them individuals, when they get in power, destroy us more.
Right.
And they know we like the cookies and the Twinkies.
Yeah,
fried chicken, baby.
The perception of change, the perception of us doing better. Like the only thing that's changed, that it's not necessarily changing. Like even the whole idea of like, I mean, where can we say that our people have grown? Like in like a way that's actually like catapulting us into like just where we're supposed to be. But I wanted to speak to something that you said earlier.
Kelly wanted to say something.
Hold up, I got a solution.
She had her hand up.
But she wanted a solution. Hold up, I'm gonna give her a solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the executive order come out next, I will send it to you and we'll review it. And then now we will put it on our IG timeline instead of putting all that other bullshit on it. Is you down?
Yeah.
You hear this, JR?
See, you haven't been following me long enough to know that when I do get stuff, I do post it.
I'm not really just talking about you. I'm as a collective.
Okay, yeah. And that's what I was gonna say, because that's what I was gonna say. You guys are talking about leaders and how to get leaders in place. It's similar to Farrakhan. Like we're gonna see what they want us to see once the leaders start to step up and we really start to organize. Like you start to realize that we only have but so much control over what can get done once we need their platforms to kind of organize and get things.
We do. You tell you why? Because what's coming up? Election season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What happens before election season?
I mean, a lot of distraction, a lot of.
I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you.
Campaigning and.
Go ahead and tell you. Lobbying season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand the connections?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're lobbying. They're collecting money. And then now, because they're lobbying for these politicians, guess what it is? It's open source. You can almost tell based on who's going to be where, based on the money, where it's coming from, what these lobby groups is responsible for. That's how I know that they was going to legalize marijuana in California, because they was lobbying for it 2 years prior. So now they got to put that information forward. So if you, in wherever you at, start checking and looking at who's paying these politicians to run.
So
hold up. Can we let Kelly?
Why don't you post the other times that we have to vote? Because election season ain't the only time we got to vote on stuff. So I mean, leave that for sure. I would totally support that for real.
Kelly, what did you have to say? Because I think I'm going to say something that maybe you're going to say. I feel it in my spirit.
I don't know. So I think because I keep hearing Amber say we need a call for leadership, but I really think that leadership needs to happen in the home, and we have these conversations all the time about what we should or shouldn't do, or complaining about the opposite sex. But I really think there needs to be a program where men were taught to be the leaders in the home and to be strong men, because women do need that male leadership. It's an absolute requirement.
Sorry to cut you off, but if in the Black community, I don't know the specific number, but over 70% of households, there's no father in the home. There's no man in the home.
Right.
That's why women that's why women are going to church and other avenues to get leadership or mentorship and stuff like that. Right. So if our leaders are pandering to their emotions and pretty much sending them off, there has to be a call for leadership, because there are no leaderships in a lot of our households in the Black community.
Which is why I agree. So my solution is to have programs that teach men how to be the strong leaders that women need, which I think LAPEEF should do this. LAPEEF, I apologize. Like have a program that men can sign up for to learn what they need to do to be the leaders in the home. But that's my point. Leaders that women can submit to, because let's be honest, there's a lot of strong Black women that aren't just going to submit to any man. So they need to learn how to be that strong male leader, and women need to learn how to be the proper wives, like to be that, I guess they call it a pick-me or submissive, or be a wife, because men aren't going to just choose a woman that's not going to be what they need in the home. So I think there needs to be programs like this is what you need to do to be a good wife. This is what you need to do to be a good husband. Like, where are the answers to get the sexes together?
But that's my point. There's a lot of programs here. There's actually one program here, even the Dovetail program, where it helps single fathers, resources. There's the Hero program, with Chris James, where they teach them kids through football, young boys. There are so many Black-led programs that don't get the funding, that don't get the marketing, that don't get pushed to the forefront because they go against the popular male panderers. They're getting canceled, or they're not getting the attention or the money, but there are programs.
Well, I think to Kelly's point, and I knew she was going to go there. That's why I said I know I'm going to follow up, because I agree with you. First, let's get the stats right. And I'm getting this for anybody that wants to know off blackdemographics.com. We usually use that as a go point. So I'm using it on that. 46% of Black children are in single mother homes. So it's not 70%, it's 46%. 5% of children live in single father households. So 51% of children are living right now with one parent in the home majority of the time. So I want to make sure we get that stat fact. So it's not 70% is in general, and that's all races in the States.
Still too damn high.
Well, it is, but I want to make that clear. 46% compared to 70% is huge. To Kelly's point, we're the only community that's looking for a Black leader to lead us. Mm-hmm. Spanish people don't do that. The Mexicans or white folks, Asian folks, there's not a white leader. There's not an Asian leader. There's not a Mexican leader. It's only Black folks that is looking for some kind of saving grace from a leader that's going to save us. Why is that? I think because we don't have our father. So to Kelly's point, no one is looking for leaders because the leaders are supposed to be in the home, not some random man that we pick and then come to find out something happens in their personal life and then you don't like them and then we dismiss them or we try to find any kind of scandal. The leaders are supposed to be in the home. We shouldn't have to be worried about funding for football teams or things like that, because that's not leading us either. Mm-hmm. That's learning discipline in a sport, which again also got our Black boys thinking that they all going to make it to the NFL, which is not true. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about even leaders or programs as far as in the STEM field or how to create families. Mm-hmm. So we don't need a Black leader to save us.
Yes.
We need to focus on our Black home, and the leader is the dad.
And you know what?
Absolutely, I agree with that. I'm talking about pattern here. If that was the case, we would not have any women in the pulpit listening to whatever the pastor is.
But
we're looking at the facts and patterns right? But I wholly agree with you. Because Louis Farrakhan is better at teaching that. And he got canceled. So I agree. That's what we need.
Yep. So how do we raise up male leaders to take care of the home?
I got you. I'm telling you.
There are other programs. Another program is the QB Legacy in Jersey that's doing that with young men. Like it's a bunch of
get out of the programs. We understand the programs. It's your home.
Okay, but the homes, like you just said, 51% of our homes are broken.
Yes.
Right. So if we have programs in the community that are helping with that issue, that is a solution.
Elijah, I got you. Elijah, I got you. Give me 1 second, Elijah.
Maybe my point is being missed. Are any of the men on the panel right now married? How do we get these men on the panel married? How do we get these men on the panel married? Like, what can we do to get you with strong, How do we get everybody together? Like, that's my question.
Hey, y'all
gonna
make me walk down the aisle.
I mean, that's my point. Like, how do we get the men right now that are single to take a wife and build together? Like, where is that program?
I got the answer, but I want to hear from Jay's story because I don't want to hog this. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
All right, I want to go all the way back in terms of leadership. I think there are a lot of great male leaders out here, but I just feel like in our community, we have a tendency to not, we have it, like Logic was saying, we have a tendency to be emotional about things, meaning JR, Logic, they can have totally different perspectives than me, but that doesn't mean that I have to be the winner and they have to be the loser because I think my perspective is better. What you have is a lot of cat fighting amongst men, and I'm positive, you know what I'm saying, women are looking at this like, how the hell are we supposed to be submit to leadership amongst dudes that are out here cat fighting? That's one thing. We have to figure out a way to align in the midst, because if you break down, if you strip away all the cosmetics and everything, a lot of us as males, we are very simple and we want the same things. Now, our ideologies may be different, but we want the same thing. I want a decent house. I want a nice little lawn where I can sit in the back and have a beer on Sunday, watch the game. You know, it's the simple things in life that we want, but we have different ideologies. We have different things that's going to get us to those places. What you have is people that are omitting the fact that they want the same things, and they're getting caught up in these ideologies like, nah, Logic, nah, yo, don't go over there and listen to Logic, he talking that bullshit. Or we get caught up in all of that when we're fighting the same fight, just from different perspectives. So we have to keep that code, we have to keep that alignment, you know what I mean? Because that works. At the end of the day, if something hurts Logic, or say if I get Logic taken down, or what I'm saying based on I don't like his ideology, and he gets sniped off, boom, he's gone. Where you think that sniper rifle is going next? It's coming to me. I mean, I think it's coming to me, but please believe I'm gonna be in the eye of the scope next. So we got to make sure we stay aligned, dude. That's where the leadership is gonna come from. Us supporting each other in the midst of different ideologies.
And y'all know I'm burning because I got the answer to y'all question. You're not gonna like it. It's healthy food. Come back on, Kelly. It's healthy food. You're not gonna like it. But you asking how to build a black family and a black leader again. Nah, I'll say you just
all about the vegetables. Let's go.
Build what we once had, right?
Yes.
Ask yourself this: what destroyed it?
Come on now. I wish what you trying to say, like
destroyed it.
I have the answer. The feminist movement.
No. I'm gonna give it real simple to you. Damn. Policy destroyed it. Policies destroyed our black family. Policy destroyed our black structure. So y'all ask me why I always bring it back to politics.
It's Policy Sunday.
Yes, no, it's not. Y'all gotta listen to me, because I told you.
I'm listening.
No, I know. I'm not listening to you. I'm talking.
Like, I'm listening. Everyone
see,
here is listening.
That's how they talk on Thursday. See, tell them to relax right?
We're listening. You have the floor.
This is why policy destroyed, and this is why on it in with policies and politics is effective, because now I give you the policy, Kelly, because you got it. You're going to take advantage of it, right? Okay. So now, me being a man, I see who has been the enemy.
Me.
You. Yes. I don't see the policies that you're just obeying by. I don't see the system that you're just obeying by. That's the whole conversation we've been having. If we deal with the policies, you know what? It would not be a need for none of this stuff, because we would deal with the source. The source is out there that's empowering these women over these men. The source is out there. It's not promoting. Because look, a woman can get more money by being a single mom than she can being married to a man.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
If I take the policy and I set it to the side, what do you need as a man from a woman to make you get married and leave that household.
You can't take the policies and put it to the side. That's just like saying,
yes, you can.
That's just like saying
because
you want to. No, but that's like saying you want to do a driver's course without the rule book.
This is why you can. Because if you're the man and you're the leader of your household, F the policies, you run your household accordingly. And if your wife is on board your ship and you're the captain, you guys can have policies all day long, but she should follow your leadership and your guidance. I'm asking.
I think maybe it's because of policy is why we're not allowing the men to lead anymore, because we don't have to. It's because of the policies that we are allowed to break up our families, because now we don't necessarily need a two income house or
I agree,
whatever, because a policy has made it easier for me to get on government assistance, have a child, and be able to take care of her without the man, because I can get WIC, I can get a HUD house, I can get all this. So it's because of the policies. So
I agree. But
so
you
here's
want to
the
be
thing,
married,
Kelly.
right,
If we
Courtney?
say that again.
You want to be married, like that's the end goal, right?
Right.
So like, what can we do as women to put ourselves in a position? Push policy aside.
That's what it is.
Do?
You're answering the question. Is we've been so indoctrinated with being able to survive without a man, then our attitudes reflect it. And it's because of the policies that are enacted that does allow me to survive without a man. So if policies are changed, makes it harder for me, then I have no other way but to be like my grandparents and like, no, I actually do need a man, not because I want a warm body next to me. It's because I can't raise these kids by myself. I can't get homes just on my income. So it's because of the policies. Once those are changed, then the need is actually a realistic need, instead of some kind of, I'm going to make him think I need him, even though I know because of policies, I might not for real.
Yeah,
I'm hearing men need to be needed. They need to feel that need from a woman.
Well, look, it's like this, man. If the women who wants to be married, and if they fighting to get married, they're gonna do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? To hell with the policies. If they want to get it done, get it done. Not everybody's gonna make it. So for those women who wants to keep riding with the policies, want to go and agree with the policy and accept the policy, they want to continue to do what they want to do, let them do it. Leave those women behind. That's more opportunity and a great percentage for the women who do. There are people out there trying to get it to happen. I mean, I know Security Boss, she's out there putting that work in, got a little dating show. We're gonna get Logic on that dating show very soon. But you know, we're gonna get Logic married. He's gonna be the next man that's gonna get married on this panel.
No.
Yay! So then you ain't trying to make change. Then you ain't trying to be a leader, Logic.
No, because the thing is we want to go back and we want to go to the surface. And then the thing is, you can make stuff work on the surface. Yes, you can. But if you want to make a massive change, you have to actually advocate to remove the policy that actually encourage the behavior. I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm gonna give you this, right? If it was no welfare, no EBT, no HUD, and no forced child support, you know what that would do? That will make men and women make better decisions.
The legs would close.
It would actually put the accountability. We will be selective out here. Our women will be wrapping up 8 times. Our women be wrapping up men in saran wrap.
Closing your legs.
No, listen, look. My whole point is I'm saying is now because there's no safety net. We have to protect ourselves.
You don't feel like the policy is a safety net?
That's what I'm saying. It's a safety net.
He's saying get rid of this
safety net.
Yeah, it's a safety net to do the complete opposite.
But I
Right.
think like in the
That's
past,
what I mean.
like
Yeah, it's a
people would get
Mhm.
married and they would make a decision that we're gonna stick it out. Like divorce is not an option. But now it's like trial marriages. It's like, okay, this one didn't work. I'll try this next one. I'll try this next one. Instead of like, you know what, we decided, we made a commitment, we set our vows, and this is it. Like it's you and me. We're not gonna leave this situation. We're gonna work it out. I feel like that's not happening more. And yes, it could be because of the policies, but it also has to do with two people being in a relationship, caring enough to make it work and stick it out for the family. And I feel like that's not really happening anymore. Yes, because of policies. Yes, because of safety nets. But what can we do as human beings, as individuals in a relationship to make it work so the man doesn't leave, so the woman doesn't want to leave? Like, how can we be better human beings to
My
make
whole point, ma'am, is this. Yes, these conversations can make small changes in our community. These conversations, people hear Kevin Sandwiches, people hear these dialogues, it will make small changes. But guess what happened? Even with that Kevin Samuel follower, that woman or whatever, if push come to shove and she still have policies to support her, guess what she gonna do? Convert back to the policies. So
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
if we want
Like,
a
how can we
massive
change
change,
the mindset of people? Where is that? Like,
yeah, but
where
the
is it?
thing is that if you want to try to change everybody's mindset,
Right.
I want to
go and then try to deal with a. That's what I said. Like
I
you
want
can, Kevin
couples
Samuels
to
can change
stay
the minimum amount of people's
together.
mindset.
But Malcolm
want-
X kind of
What
said it
you
best. There
policy-
was something where he said there's like a group of people, some of us have like vision, right? And then there are people that just can't see beyond their backyard. You get what I'm saying? Why not work with the visionaries amongst you to make those changes and have that create the waves? Which is why we spoke to the fact that 51% of our households are broken. I don't see why we wouldn't, utilize these programs within our communities that are doing the work to get the work done and, spread that message throughout our communities. And you can see the shift because our babies are the future. So, we definitely got to start with them. They're not thinking about policies. They're thinking about their environment. They're thinking about how they're raised. So to Kelly's point, it does kind of start in our households, even if it's without a man, I guess, even if it's without a woman or both parents in there. We do have to start, I guess, implementing policy within our households to make the changes. Or
okay, so if you implement policies in your household,
our own policies,
yeah, your own policies, right?
Right.
And then y'all got a disagreement. Who's going to enforce that policy in your household?
The man.
But you got a disagreement with him.
That's why conversation is important. That's why you need to work it out. That's why you need to have a good relationship. Like,
no, it's not.
Listen,
Kelly,
there's always a way out. I'm saying make the decision to not leave unless there's like domestic violence. I feel like people should work it out. If you choose to be with that person, work it out.
Well,
Kelly,
that
but-
sounds good, Kelly. But again, we talked about the idea of the Disneyland.
I like
and
Disney.
it's Disney to you're wanting to change something that's in human nature. When given options, they're going to always choose the best option for them. So that's why we have laws instated, because we understand that as a people, and this is just human nature, is that we're always going to do what's best for us, and that we need to have some kind of structure for us, just to survive, or for us to be treated right, or anything like that. We have to have laws. There has to be boundaries. We have to have policies.
Okay.
So you're wanting someone to feel, or we should, instead of realizing what it is. And our human nature, if a woman has an option, and we know that we move on emotions, we've been moving on emotions this whole show. And if someone makes me mad and I know I have an option to leave, and I'm going to be taken care of because I'm not treated a certain way, I'm not treated marriage is supposed to be forever, but for 5 years, I feel like he's not listening to me. He's not doing anything. And it's been 5 years.
Right.
Then what am I going to do?
Courses to that.
But
that
it's
is
not
my point. That is my point. It's like, okay, if the woman has an issue with whatever's going on in a relationship, talk to the man, and the man care enough to make those changes, and vice versa. The woman care enough to make those changes because you guys decided to do life together.
Right.
That is
it's not happening.
That's a learned behavior.
Let's make it happen.
That's a
Let's make it
learned
happen.
You
behavior.
can't.
And if you don't have
You guys
you
are
don't
wanting
come
to
from
change
adults,
people's thoughts and ideas on why they should stay.
They only take one at a time.
Here's the thing: when policies got enacted, people showed who they were. When it was easy to get a no-fault divorce, more people got divorced. When it was harder and you had to pay more, you saw people not getting divorced and trying to work it out because it was beneficial for them to work it out. People are going to do what's beneficial for them.
Yeah, but just because the option's out there don't mean you have to take it.
But people do. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Y'all are living in this little.
We understand that. We understand they do. But I'm talking about us right here on this panel. Let's start making it happen. Let's find you ladies some husbands. And fellas, we're going to find some wives.
But
and we're going to start. We're going to start here. We're going to start
It's crazy. We was just
I'll
having
be your Chuck Woolley. I'll host the show for you, JR. Let's do it.
But we was talking about the difference between healthy conversation and comfortable conversation.
Yeah, but man, we can't keep crying about the problem. We got to come up with some solutions.
Yes,
right now, it sounds like we just crying about the problem.
To say women do that, we give you
We
solutions.
acknowledge the problem.
Solution driven. You over here trying to be problem driven. Come on, man.
But I do understand Courtney's point, because it is a mindset that has to change, and the policies are in place as a fallback. But I'm saying don't take the fallback. And I know it's a delusional Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Disney World thought process, but I guess I saw it lived out. So that's why my thought process is there. My mom and dad, I'm one of 5 children. And when they got married, they just decided this is it. Like, we're not going to leave. Like, if there's a problem, we work it out. If we need counseling, we get counseling. So that's why.
No. She's making a good point.
We gotta move it on in a second, y'all.
I want to analyze something she said. Kelly, yes, everything you said sounds good. It looks good. It feels good and tastes good. But at the end of the day, if you want to keep marriages intact, and then you sit here and say that if he don't beat you, if he don't do nothing crazy to you, no alimony. You know what that'll force women? Wait, see, you don't like that though.
No,
because
that's not what I said.
No, I'm not. I'm just throwing it out there. This is what I'm trying to tell you, and you try to circumvent it to sit here and mind control you. It's not going to be there. If it's a safety net there, then people will take it. If the government come out right now and say the KKK is giving everybody $1 million, you think people gonna say, no, I'm not taking that $1 million. That's coming from the KKK. They're gonna take it, and it's a safety net. You have to remove the safety nets in order to get to the solutions. We can talk about it every day. We can have 1 million shows. Black people have been talking about this for years. But long as the safety nets live within the system.
That's not what I'm saying. I was one of 5 children, and we were very poor growing up because my mother stayed home to take care of the children, and my father was the only income. We qualified for 5 children. On his income, we qualified for welfare, we qualified for food stamps, but he didn't want to do that because he didn't want the government to be in control of his money. He didn't want to have to answer to the government for everything that he made. So yes, there were safety nets. My mother could have left. She could have gotten child support for 5 children, but they decided between themselves that they were going to work it out. And it sounds like a dream, but I like that dream, and I want our community to have that dream. So my thing is like, what can we do to change the thought process? So yes, remove the policies. I'm all for that. Remove the safety net. But if that's what needs to happen to keep our families together, I'm all for that change. But it has to be a mindset shift.
But we got to realize it's not black policies. Everybody has to deal with these same policies, even every race. But yet they're still getting married. It's just us being left behind.
And you know another thing, In terms, Kelly, I think that we need to do a better job of finding people that are in our alignment. What you're speaking about is something you grew up in a two-parent household where you saw them endure, you saw them work it out. You know, in the back of their mind that there was, like you just said, your mom could have taken it out, but she endured. You saw that personally. You grew up in that. So you may be better fit or better suited for somebody who grew up in that similar situation, whose parents have been married 50 years. They did have terrible times. They might have separated at one point, got back together, but you saw that they lasted. You know what I mean? Versus being with somebody that, oh, the minute it gets bad, I'm out.
But that's when I say programs, I mean like programs to teach people how to change their thought process. Like if a man and a woman aren't in agreement or alignment, instead of leaving, like, okay, how do we fix this? How do we talk it out? How do I keep you happy? How do I keep you engaged? How can we make it work so we do stay together?
That's therapy.
Right. Like
What
Courtney
you
said.
That's
That's
therapy.
therapy. That's therapy. That's
Yeah, but
growth,
relationships aren't
and that's
easy. They are
acknowledging.
And if you care enough about a person, you're willing to put in that work to make sure you guys stay together.
Kelly.
Instead of like, I don't like you. I don't like our argument. I'm out. Peace. Welfare.
No, Kelly, what you do is, I'm telling you, you incentivize it. If you want more marriages, you incentivize marriages. If you want more single families, you incentivize single families.
But still, this is our choice to make. We're giving incentives, but we can still choose to stay together.
Yes, but you got to listen what I'm saying, though. I understand what you're saying. You're talking about the perfect scenario with perfect thinking people. But the thing is, if you want something to happen, you incentivize it. If you want people to do something, you incentivize it. If the government really want marriages, you know what they'll do? They incentivize it. If they did want single families, you know what they would do? They would stop incentivizing it. Because long as there's an incentive out there for you to do a certain behavior, people will do it.
Then why are we signing up for the government's program?
Here's the thing, Kelly, here's the thing, because
because they saw their mama, their grandmama do the same thing.
But here, Kelly, you're romanticizing your situation and what you saw of your parents. But if you want to talk about it as a whole and as a community, you have to look and see what has happened and what has failed. What happened is that, and this is just not talking about what you saw, but what we see as a community, that back in the day when it wasn't incentivized and that you had to stay married for a lot of reasons, and it was harder for women and men to divorce, families stuck it out because it was to their benefit that they did. They had no other choice. It wasn't that I'm going to stick it out because I love my man. Okay, well, sometimes that love gets convoluted when you argue and he get on your nerves for years and years, and not thinking that it's forever because I've been through bullshit with you for 5. Okay, but back then they stuck it out because it was beneficial for them too. Of course, you had songs that's cheaper to keep her, so it just was beneficial. Now it's not. And you see the dissipation of family units, of being able to leave, of having kids out of wedlock, because it's also beneficial for me to do it. I don't have any benefits to stay. I don't have any incentives to stay. So if you get on my nerves for years, then we're not thinking of forever. Women's not thinking about forever. We're thinking about, I've been in 2 years and he's been getting on my nerves. I'm ready to go. And now I have an exit plan and I can go. How many times have we said, man, my grandmama went through a whole lot. If it was me, I sure enough wouldn't do it. If it was me, well, they ain't have no choice. So the option to choose the choices that we have makes us think about a whole lot of stuff, a lot different than they did in yesteryear. And that's it.
I agree with all that. I do.
Yeah, but all the options that they do have are not always good options, though. It's not this.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who wants to be alone. I don't know anybody who wants to be alone, because you can't. Sometimes you can't get that. You can't put a price tag on loneliness. Nobody.
Well,
I don't care how much money you get from the government. You only gonna get it for so long, because once them kids are grown, them benefits ain't gonna be there no more. Then what you gonna do?
Well, I don't
Your
think
ass gonna
anyone
be out in
looks
the
at
street.
it long term. No one
What?
looks at it long term. I'm not,
Okay.
and a lot of times
You
we
right.
look at it, I'm
They
not
don't.
lonely if I have somebody coming over at night.
You
You
right.
don't have to necessarily be married to have a companion, so no one thinks about that. But then again, this is why we're in, and that's why Kevin Samuels is important, because it's like, well, once you hit 40 and above, and the options get slimmer, and you thinking that what you had before in your 20s, and you had so many options, here we go with those options things, had so many options. And I'm thinking those options I had when I was 25 is going to be the same options I have when I'm 45. And the reality is that it's not. If I understand that those options are cut, then what's going to be beneficial for me is to be married. What's going to be beneficial should have been married back in my prime. I mean, I'm still, clocking, but still back in my prime.
I understand. Maybe I'm just thinking too
But
logical.
because of my options,
Listen to lie too much. I'm thinking too
I
logical.
wasn't thinking long term.
But this is where we got to realize, look, when the government think they know what's best for us, you know what they do? They incentivize us to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We had the jab lotteries. We had the jab tax breaks. We had all kind of stuff that was
donuts
on this because they figured that it was good for you. But see, then we'll let them get off the hook by incentivizing stuff that they know that's bad for us, and then we don't blink an eye. We act like they don't have a part in it. And the thing is they make us hate each other with their policies. I don't know how we don't see it. You can create the perfect love story. You can have Cinderella. You can have all the Cosby shows running. If it's stuff out there for people to take, they would take it. And then the government is behind it. They make me want to hate Lady T. They make me want to hate Courtney. They make me want to hate Jay and everybody. But at the end of the day, we're fighting? We're fighting policies. It's clear. Everything that you do that everybody have a disagreement with, you don't have a disagreement with the woman. It's the policies that she's exercising you have a disagreement with. In a relationship, you have a disagreement with policies. It affects us. This is how government run. But they do an excellent job on playing us against each other through policies. So now that black man won't understand that, hey, this woman is not my enemy. That piece of paper that she's following is my enemy. I say this a lot of times. I say the women are not the issues. It's the policies. The women just, like I said, hey, look, I don't even get mad at the women because if men was in that position, they will follow the policies too that best benefit them. Let's get to that. Or we can have love stories every day, and then for the next 20 years, we're going to be singing another sad love song back in my way. Like crazy.
All right, y'all. We gotta move on. Hey, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, a little low.
Okay. A little low. All right. Welcome to Lapeef-ING. Okay. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Be fast or slow, it doesn't let go or shake me.
I don't know what song y'all singing, man. I hope I don't sound like that when I be trying to sing.
Tony Braxton.
All right. Anyhow, welcome to Lapeef-ING Sundays. Make sure you guys get the likes up. Also subscribe to the channel. I want to get through these super chats. Ladies, I need a volunteer to read. Volunteer?
Amber should do
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I thought we were voting.
Okay.
No,
all right.
you got it,
I'll
lady.
do that.
You got a lady.
I'll let Lady read the super chat. Before we do, at 2:30 Central, Sage Talk with Lee. This is the topic right here. Let me take this banner off real quick. Sage Talk with Lee will be live at 2:30 Central Time. Choose better black men. You got options. I just posted that link to the top of the chat. So if you want to click that link and reserve the spot, set the reminder, then come back over here. You can do so right now. We are going to filter through these super chats. Again, Sage Talk with Lee is at 2:30 Central Time. Choose better black men. You got options. I have no idea which direction Lee is going with this, but I'm pretty sure you guys are curious just like me. But There you go. There you have it. All right. I already know Courtney fired up.
I got something for Mr. Lee.
I got questions based on his thumbnail. She's trying to say, are Black women not better? Because I don't see no beautiful Black queens on that thumbnail, sir.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out about that one. Anyhow, let's get through these super chats. Then we got some more that came through. Let me click these right quick. All right, you ready, Lady T?
Yes, sir. I was in church when he said it and walked out during service. Oop.
All right, that's a 499.
That's Arissa. What's
Thank
up,
you,
Larissa?
Larissa. KB rebuilding together. Thank you. And no, KS told combative women that if they didn't change to understand survival, they would die alone. That is a big difference to cheering death. Agreed. Robert H. $5. BW, Black women rejoiced when Meghan Markle married a white man. If a conservative Black woman does it, Black women say it's a problem. Make it make sense. KB rebuilding together. Thanks again. Mr. Logic, where did you get that cap and what's the front? Please and thanks.
Arrow.
Woke Quill. Black liberals dislike Candace for the same reason some women dislike Kevin Samuels. The truth is hard to hear from certain people. Last one left, Hayes. She switched from race talking points to relationship politics. Julius Germain. Salute Avon.
Salute Avon. I still love you, brother.
Duty, honor,
love you too.
Courtney is right. People have to stop being so scary and worrying about white people. What happened in Buffalo is a result of a disarmed citizenry. Logic is right on economy. America first just makes sense. Black Gen Z mindset. Avon mischaracterized what I said for his liberal agenda. Dems don't want blacks to work. That's why they pushed the COVID-19 so hard. They want you dependent.
We still love Avon.
Gia Holman said, party save the BC. We don't want absolutes and standards. If we had automatic death penalty for child sex offenders with no appeals, the streets would be filled with mamas and dads wanting an exception for their son.
Change the policies.
Black Engine said he don't understand the white sheets are dumb org.
Hey.
Last one left said Ronald Reagan gave amnesty, took the U.S. off the gold standard. What are y'all talking about?
Exactly. Republicans love illegal immigrants. They love them.
Gee, thanks. Just my 4 cents. Isn't it funny that Black women now want to marry a Karen-raised white man as opposed to a Ray-raised Black man? KS, rest in peace. Is Hank related to B Nix? Are you? Just my 4 cents. Karen-raised men are in demand by Black women. Milton Jeff, you have to get the other side of the story. Just my 4 cents. Y'all want to marry Karen's men, but abort your own? Please explain. Eesh. KB Rebuilding Together said, if you draw that line, you can't complain when cops shoot our kids for having a toy gun and they say it's a weapon. That's interesting. Thank you, Ike. JD Caudle said, logic, that's a whip on that's used to lunge horses.
And we saw it on the big screen, and we know that's incorrect.
KB said, and thanks again, KB, people were mad when they attacked George Floyd's character after his death, yes? Was it because we saw it? You have to see that man take his last breath for his life to matter. People in the chat saying, yeah, but KS, stop. I'm Twan too said, whether you consider him attacking Black women or not, he turned the mirror to Black women to show them you are not exempt from accountability.
Facts.
Lady T won't ever let a man lead. Won't ever let a man lead. Even if a man lead by example, she still wouldn't follow. She's just the contrary woman. Oh, thanks, K, because you know me, Kim K. You know me so well. BTK, what about Larry Elder to lead? Milton Jeff, the leadership comes from your husbands. True, but we need some. W911 Detroit said, kids mirror what they see, so boys raised by their mothers will be either gay, feminine, or docile. That's kind of true. Show AL said, show the value of marriage and we'll get married. Miss S. Parker said, drop the strong Black woman moniker. It subconsciously increases masculinity. I agree. Ms. S. Parker said, men, lead the advocacy against the policies.
Correct.
G Firm 456 says, it's liberals who incentivize single homes.
Also correct.
B Better You said, for Mr. Logic, he's spot on today. The personal level matters, but the policy macro level determines what options are readily available for the masses to take.
Thank you, brother.
A.K. Harrison said, create policy and safety nets that support marriage.
Black man, thank you.
Mark Chi said, we're getting rid of child support. Trump 2024.
Black man, thank you.
Ish G said, I love me some Courtney. Go
I love her too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Duty Honor Caffeine said, people need to understand that they are ignorant and were never trained to think. Emotion is only useful when you lack information. Stop being dumb, people. True. High emotions, low intellect. Black Titan said, these types of discussions I like to hear. Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon, Black Titan.
Thank you. Y'all support JR. Look, if y'all support JR, we'll put it up. If y'all support JR, we'll put it up. Force his hand. He the boss man. Force his hand. I don't want to talk about no twerking and no relationships. I want to talk about policies. Policy.
Get you married, Logic. Logic gonna get you married, Logic.
No, hold up. I'm emotional right now. I'm emotional.
You always
There's nothing wrong with emotions. We're humans. Go ahead. Be emotional. Go ahead.
Hey, but JR, didn't I just have this conversation with you about policies yesterday?
JR,
you did. You did. You did.
Was
Hey, did we read this one already?
Yeah, we did.
Did you read this one already? Okay.
But it's worth reading
All right.
again. People need to understand that they are ignorant and were never trained to think. Emotion is only useful when you lack information. Stop being dumb, people. Yes. When we're high in emotions, we're low on intellect. I know that for a fact. Miss S. Parker, the uncomfortable truth is that women do not fully trust the men to choose to create a family to provide. The policies are so attractive because they serve as a backup plan. Failure traumas.
Facts, Miss Parker.
So you gonna lay down with somebody and make a baby that you don't trust? Okay.
Some women are doing that. They don't fully trust them. You know, it's true. The Trinity
you don't trust them to lead, but
pretty ladies and handsome fellas on the panel. Thanks, love.
Thank you.
Mud Boot Marketing, Constitution Time, Black Senate.
Support Candace Owens.
Mark G said, the way Black women been acting this last week, I understand exactly what Mr. Lee is saying. Y'all gotta get your act right.
We still love them though, but you're right.
Kamar Ayil L said, and Trump wanted to bring the gold standard back.
And that's what I wanted to say to them. Oh my God, we got the oil dollar. We don't have a gold standard. Look, do research, people.
Milton Jeff said, Courtney and Logic is on fire today.
Because that's my boo.
Logic, you.
I think I got through.
Hey, boo.
I think I got through all the super chats for right now. We definitely appreciate that. Again, that link is posted. With Sage Talk with Lee today is at 2:30. That link is posted at the top of the chat. Choose better Black men. You got options. That is what it is. We're gonna move on to our last and final topic of the day on the LAPEEF-ING Sundays. Make sure you guys get that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej Hanley. That link is pinned in the description. Feel the Teej.
Hey.
All right, y'all. The Teej got my skin looking. I got a little glow going on, don't I?
Yeah, that Teej got me right. And that what is it? Sugar curls?
Yeah, shout out to Sugar Curls.
All I use Teej and
Sugar Curl is watching. I got confirmation Sugar Curls is watching, so shout out to her.
Yeah, if y'all men got dusty beards, Sugar Curls. If y'all got bad skin, Teej Hanley, use it. That's how my face glow. So glow.
All right, y'all. So this video.
The reason why your face was glowing.
All right, so this video was circulating around with Jayda Cheaves. I'm gonna go ahead and play that right now.
And you know, lately, like I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, you know, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s? You know, like women control the, like, literally, you know, because I could say this now, but I only say that because of status. Like, we making hella money just like these. But as far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We running out of that. And it's kind of scary in society today. And I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but this is just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us. I don't know what it is. This might be just something I talk about on my, maybe the first topic I talk about on my podcast, because I don't know, it's just a little weird these days. It's like we gotta fight for a spot in these lives, or they want to put, I don't know. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna save this for my podcast, because y'all know I got a podcast coming out here. We all about to be acting normal. I got a podcast coming. Stay tuned. But yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be the first topic I talk about, though, because it's real different out here. But we do run the world for sure. We control the world. I feel like we the reason it's spinning. Women are taking over day by day, and that's just all I'm gonna say for now.
Mr. Logic was right. Mr. Logic was right. Please. You remember the Golden Child?
Come on, man, Logic. Come on, give me the knife, baby.
Right. You remember that?
I want tonight.
Mr. Logic was right. Listen
Logic right about what?
Please.
Right about what, Logic?
Yeah, what were you
He's
right
right, right about, like,
Right about the policies.
I mean, you're right about a lot of things. I'll say that. I'm not asking you to downplay it, but what exactly are you speaking to being right about right now?
Everything the lady just said. If you listen to the point she made, first off, she couldn't even bring forward no facts to her argument. Second of all, isn't she like the little baby mama? Isn't that her? Right? Yeah, that ex-dope boy and all this, and then she the baby mama of an ex-dope boy rapper, a 1%er, and now her voice is bigger than Courtney's, Kelly's, even yours and Amber's. And then look, all she did was slept with a rapper, right? That hit it. And then she's sitting here and she admitted to you that the women run the world. And then now it gonna go back to what I was saying. What give her that power to do that? What give her that power to even run the man that she's with?
Yeah, I feel you. I don't necessarily agree with the whole women run the world rhetoric. I feel like it's problematic because our men are supposed to lead us, but we are the most influential in our communities. Like, that's just how it's been. Like, ever since back in the day, like, mama runs the household, mama rears the children, mama sets, you know, the morals, the values, the principles in the babies and sends them out into the world. And they show up how they show up because of what they were taught. Our fathers instill that, the discipline. He's our self-correct, our voice of self-correction, right? So in that light, yes, of course, our men are very important to lead us, but for her saying that women run the world, I don't know that she meant it in that way, and I do feel like it's a little problematic. Like, yes, we're influential, but I feel like, I don't know, man, it's giving weird to me, because I don't necessarily agree with it. Now, I will say I don't feel like men, well, not all men, obviously, but most men aren't loving, respecting, and valuing women in the way that they once did. But I think it would be unfair to mention that women have changed and aren't showing up in the same way that we once did back in the 80s and 90s, even,
But, Lady T, can I ask you one question based off of what I've been saying all day, right?
Mhm.
My two categories I've been delivering today was
Policy
healthy and comfortable, right? Which category would you put her statement in?
For me, it was uncomfortable.
No. Based on my comfort food and my healthy food analogy that I've been using all day, her statement will fall in what category?
Junk food.
Comfort food, right? Because now look, I'm just breaking it down, because as you see, right, what she's saying, it's not healthy for women.
No.
But it's comfortable for them. It's what they want to hear. It's what they make them feel better. And then now, what I think is insulting to me is when I see more qualified women up here that should have a bigger platform, and then somebody in the chat says she got 2 million subscribers for being a rapper baby mama. She don't even know what she's talking about. She don't know nothing. But now I think it's open season for women, because women with these crazy views, because they saw, she just followed you. They see it's a void left by Kevin Samuels, and now they're looking to combat that. They know that Kevin Samuels did it. He started doing this podcast. A lot of this stuff is going. Now we're going to see a narrative that's being pushed, and it's going to get wild. Remember my word. It's going to get wild by the end of December. You're going to start seeing all these little feminist podcasts is popping up, because they say, oh, wait, if Kevin Samuels do it, I can do it. And hey, I got my baby daddy that's a little baby that can back me. And then you're going to start seeing this strong push to promote that, because that was straight feminist talk. Women make the world go round. She didn't say women run the household. She said makes the world go round. That's a message that just went out to 2 million young black women.
Women make the world go round.
7
million. We contribute to the shift. I will say that, but
what's funny is
she has 7 million.
The topic is, why don't they respect us like in the 80s? Not, she just answered her own question with her own damn mouth. Like, who wants to date that? Who wants to be bothered with that? And here's the concerning thing for me, right? I think I talked about this before, whatever, right? Where it frustrates me that how many middle class, upper middle class, educated black women will ride with ratchet, will ride with that mentality. And I'm not understand. Like, I understand if you come from that background and you ain't left that background, why would that appeal to you? But I know like a lot of like raised middle class, upper middle class black women who are backsliding back into ratchet because that's what's cool. And it's weird to me. And then y'all ask why we not married. Well, that's kind of what we got to deal with out there. You got to almost, reprogram some of these women you come across. Like there's, I see women out here who are making 6 figures. They went to these nice colleges, and you turn on Cash Money for the 99, 2000. All of a sudden, they back on the block like they didn't do none of that.
Wait a minute. What we're not gonna do is disrespect juvenile like that, okay? I am
all week, right? What we heard
99, 2000.
Okay.
Saying that all in
What
this
we heard
mother.
all week was how much Kevin Samuels disrespects black women, right?
We're not.
We don't like. We turn on the TV, this laptop, these phones, and we scroll through our Twitters and our social media. They do more disrespect to themselves than they ever will. We ever will. You know, I'm not telling nobody to twerk at brunch, but it's happening. I'm not telling nobody to jump on a police car.
Have y'all saw
that downtown?
Have y'all saw that? Have y'all saw that new viral song? She is like F-R-E up nigga free. That song right there.
Not a single dude in the video. Yeah, nah.
I never seen.
No, watch this. I was out yesterday, and then in a nice upscale. I was in Woodbridge, Virginia, upscale joint, right? And I'm hearing these young women out there playing this F-R-E-E. I said, what is that? And I looked at it, and it's a video of these ratchet chicks. It's a chick that's like 9 months pregnant that's twerking on some headlights, and they pouring Hennessy down each other's mouth, and then they say, this is the lyrics, is F-R-E-E, fuck nigga free, cause ain't gotta worry about a fuck nigga cheat. This is what's being pushed out by these individuals. Like we see, what's her name? Jayda Cheaves and all that, their crew. This is the information they put out. And even though that beat is catchy, that little line is catchy, because I had to slap myself because I was in there saying,
Not for nothing.
I know you
the lyrics, but that visual sounds crazy. You know, I mean,
is right now, and our men do it too, but it's impactful. And I was talking about this. Damn, I'm sorry for dominating this conversation, but I just had a conversation with a beautiful young lady that's yesterday, and I said, and I told her I was going to try to put this in the show.
You should have married.
That a man is responsible for protecting that woman's spirit. That spirit is a woman.
Did you get her number, Logic?
Well, hold up. Let me cook right now.
Okay, my bad.
Spirit, that feminine spirit, that woman spirit. Now, and I see it through the Jayda Cheaves girl and the F-R-E-E girl. They are destroying themselves, that womanly spirit, and it's destroying our community. And we give them platforms. If you want to talk about this, which one more detrimental to our community? The F-R-E-E lady, Jayda Cheaves, or Kevin Samuels? Who should be counseled?
Well, I agree with what was it, Jayda Cheaves? Is that her name? She says men don't respect or appreciate women like they used to in the 80s and 90s. But I believe that is the women's fault, because women aren't respecting themselves like they used to in the 80s and the 90s. So I don't know how you can expect someone else to respect you if you're not even showing the proper respect for yourself. And I feel like women are making themselves like too readily available. Like they have a male mindset. Like used to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go out and F me whoever I want. But like back in the day, we used to like hold that and like save it for our husbands, or even like a guy you're serious with. You wouldn't just sleep with any guy. That's like more of a masculine mindset. So it's too available for men. Why would they respect that? Men still respect and appreciate certain types of women. So, but if you are setting yourself in this other category, no, they're not going to respect you. They're not going to value you. They're not going to appreciate you because you don't even do that for yourself.
Well, I'm thinking first. So how old is this young lady? Because I'm 80s baby. I'm 39. Huh?
You said what?
What'd you say, Aiden?
She looks like she's a teenager. She looks like a teenager that lived a hard life, but she still looks like a teenager.
Well, what I'm saying is she's representing the 80s and 90s. So I'm an 80s baby. I'm 39. And I think about art imitates life. So I'm thinking about air, and I'm thinking about the music we listen to, and I'm thinking about on TV what we digest. And I'm thinking about the songs even when I was a baby and a young, the type of songs my parents listened to was Luther Vandross and Teddy Pendergrass, and it was still talking about
She's 24.
love and, Renette growing up, and then transition to more R&B, and we got the Mary J. Blige and all the boy groups, men and stuff like that. Then it started transitioning into gangster rap. Then we had Lil' Kim come out with Core. She talked, it's like my own forgets. Like you see the transition from the 50s, 60s, 70s, talking about singing rain and I want my woman back, to the 80s, still kind of family. So that you see the transition. So I don't even think she was accurate on the era. That's what she's showing her age.
Yeah, she's 24.
Yeah, she young. Because I'm like the 80s and 90s. No,
born 1997.
They weren't worshiping women like that.
No.
Yeah.
No, especially in hip hop. Bees ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. No.
Hey, look, I didn't respect the hoes in the 90s or the 80s, and I ain't respecting the hoes now. I love the ladies though. As long as you ladies act like ladies, I love you. But if you act like a hoe, I'm gonna treat you as such. So the hell with it. It ain't. Is it any different for me? No, it ain't. Because you was a hoe in the 90s, you a hoe in the 2000s, and 22, you still a hoe.
To that point, then Hank, FREE, fuck nigga, because she's talking about fuck niggas, not men. So
she's a hoe. I don't give a shit what she say. I'm gonna hoe, she a hoe. Shout out to Willie D.
She said standing on the headlights, twerking at the red light.
You know what, bro? It's funny, but last night there were teenage girls on the most busiest street in Chicago climbing on cars doing the exact same shit.
Dang.
The exact same thing. I always get into this whole does art imitate life or does life imitate art? You can't tell me that they not listening to this shit like this and not taking it to the head.
And that's why I referenced what was on TV, what was the music at that time, even just TV. I'm just thinking like, what were we seeing on TV in the 80s and 90s? The Cosby Show, A Different World, Family Matters, and then it transitioned to Sex in the City, Girlfriends. Like it's just you can reference the music because art really does imitate life.
Right, people go look. We did we can say how we want about these young kids. What's the dude that be on YouTube talking about? Let's not forget. Y'all was running around in the 90s going Freaknik. Y'all had I remember not grown, but teenage girls my age back when TLC was out was wearing condoms on their damn eye. We forgot about that, didn't we? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not.
That was in the HIV/AIDS era where people actually took it important. They don't anymore.
I'm not making a moral argument.
The condom on the eye.
I'm not making a moral argument. What I'm saying is that there was a balance of what was being put out there, right? And also, kids are going to gravitate, young people are going to gravitate to whatever's popular. Like back in the 50s,
to Logic's point, I'm sorry,
grown-ass black men were walking around doo-wopping everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the popular thing in culture,
But that's the Logic's point. This young lady who is 24, who has 7 million followers, are misinforming. Even she didn't get the era right because it wasn't like that in the 80s or 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to prove Logic's point.
You know where she got her information from?
Who?
Instagram. Like women that's misinformed her. And now she's just taking the narrative. She's not doing no research. She's not doing nothing. She's pushing the narrative. And also, she's promoting her podcast because you got to realize that's what she said.
I was going to say, who's going to subscribe to her podcast?
It's for my podcast. So I can, like I said, it's a new trend that's been out. And even though I agree with a lot of YouTube messages that's been put out, but the thing is that it will be a counter message that's put out. That void that Kevin Samuel left, and it's not a void, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, overall, I think the man did great things. He brought great conversations to it. But now the thing is that you will see an effort to counteract his message that he been pushing for so long.
And I think another thing, I think I was looking at a post that JR posted where you were talking about not focusing on what somebody else is doing, like not making a comparison. I think I seen this like in the past 2 days, where it was like you can't judge your success based on somebody else's success and their timeline of success. I think nowadays what you have is you got men who, you know, grassroots. They build stuff from the ground up, and it's taken like 15 years, oh, boom, now I'm a millionaire. It took me 10 years, but I'm a millionaire now. And then you have a woman who goes on OnlyFans, shows some feet, and she's a millionaire in 1 month, so that respect level is like, damn, I broke my back for 10 years and this chick just went and did a little feet dance and now she's a millionaire.
I'm like, I want to do a feet dance.
Jason into some
I've
freak
been
shit,
thinking
ain't you,
about
Jay?
it.
You will have a certain envy, contempt. You will have a certain attitude towards women, and then especially if they don't realize the blessing in that. You know what I mean? Like a million doesn't come easy and you just got it in a month. So I'm talking down on you. And I make $1 million a month. What you doing? Breaking your back, working, building, but it's not sustainable. We understand that $1 million in that month can drop down to $15 in a month because you're the hot thing now, but eventually 5 years down the line, you're gonna be just another foot. You know what I'm saying? So men are walking around with that attitude because they have to combat that because women are pretty much talking down on them like, yeah, get out of here, yo, your little $1 million in 10 years. I made that in a month, so there's a lot of that's part of the respect level too.
Yeah,
And
you can't let these hoes get to you though, dog. You can't let them hoes get to you.
Logic, and I understand what you are predicting and foreseeing, and you probably are correct. I am hoping that the pendulum will be balanced, where we started with extreme feminism and womanism, and then you had Kevin Samuels telling men like you are the prize too. So I am hoping and praying that if you're saying it's true, Logic, that maybe by next year the pendulum will be back to nuclear families. Maybe it will equally balance out. Like things will get worse before they get better. Because if you see, there are a lot of advocacy and there are a lot of pages like, Black love, millennial marriages. Like there are a lot of people saying like, we're going to leave the battle of the sexes to the old heads. I want love. I want family. And there are organizations pushing for that.
But see, you got to realize, Amber, that her message is the exact opposite of Kevin Samuels. It's not on the opposite spectrum. Kevin Samuels talking about bringing Black people together. What she's doing is she's promoting this. She going to promote, and you can listen what she said. She's promoting this Black woman superior. The Black woman is this, all that kind of stuff. So what you realize is that that's not on the opposite side. Like if she was talking about, you know what, let's build the nuclear family, but I'm finna speak on it from a woman perspective, then I can understand that. But they're going to push a message that we're trying to, it's direct, it's the opposition of Kevin Samuels' message. And that's what they want to push. They want to push that. And you got it's a baby mama of a rapper, so she'll get more eyes. They gonna promote all this stuff. They gonna have women that agree with them. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna push everything that's opposite. They see that board is want to be heard. And then now, plus you got, I'm pretty sure she's attractive. She's a rapper girlfriend. So now Black men by default will support her just to see her.
So do you think this was pretty much do you think this was just a marketing tactic because her and a lot of women going to see an opening since there's a void to promote her podcast?
They're going to do it. They're going to do it. It's out there. They feel like, you know what, just like all of them said, Kevin Samuels was attacking us. Instead of saying that, okay, well, if he was attacking us, which he wasn't, he was actually attacking the lack of structure we have in our community, the lack of values we have in our community, the lack of loyalty, the lack of all that stuff. He was attacking our activities. But what they going to turn around and do is they're going to do one thing. They're going to start actually not attacking the situations. If she start attacking the situations, then I'm all for her. But she's looked like to me, and based on what I heard, is she going to start attacking the people and not the activity?
Well, I think one of the problems is in our age bracket, hopefully the women in our age bracket is not thinking I had that mindset like that chick does. But you know, it's possible. I feel sorry for our sons. That's the ones going to have to deal with those type of ratchet ass chicks because she got them little teenage girls thinking like that.
FREE.
You and that damn saying. All right. Anybody got any final thoughts on this?
Man, I got one more, JR. Man, protect yourself at all costs, man. Protect yourself at all costs. Don't fall in love with these hoes, man. Find you a nice lady that's gonna do right by you.
There you go.
These hoes ain't loyal.
Yeah, I'm with Hank. I'm with Hank,
What
man.
you
Like
said,
on one hand, I'm disturbed by it, but on the other hand, you as a man have to be able to look at that and say, yeah, that's not for me. The problem is that a lot of the younger dudes don't have no standards themselves, and they accept it. You know what I'm saying? They say this is normal to them or whatever. You know.
I mean, I'm going back to the 90's music. What they say, don't trust a big butt and a smile, you know?
That's what they said.
Yeah,
That's what they
gotta, you know what I'm saying?
The girls,
Yeah, I mean,
was she not poisoned?
oh, like
I'm just saying.
somebody tell you where they are.
I like to comment on
The
what
crazy
Logic
thing
said.
about it, yeah. But one more last point is just when I was thinking about this, right? I remember, you know, the trend started like about 10 years ago with the skinny jeans, the sagging skinny jeans or whatever it was, man. It was about 5-10 years ago. I remember I asked my cousin about 10 years younger than me. I said, dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, what did you want? What are you doing? Hoes be liking that shit. That's what came out of his mouth. Women can dictate, our women can dictate to us the standards that they want us to approach them by. You guys control that. You control how you lead a house. You control how you look. You control who you let between your legs. You control the narrative and the people around you. Y'all control that. If y'all in mass today woke up and said, you know what? We're not smashing anybody anymore unless we're in a relationship. And there's a concrete plan for this to go on as what we're doing. And we, you know, like the whole life went out the window. Men would have to adjust. Men would have to totally approach y'all in a whole different way because what we are approaching is different. You can't go fishing for bass and you know with bait that's designed for catfish.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You can't do it.
I totally agree. I think we don't know how. I don't know if we don't know or know how to use how powerful we really are. I think the power that we use, we're using it so much for us to be like a man instead of using it. I was about to throw some real quick game on how to get a man.
I know
what you want him to do, but that's for another show. But
don't
we
tell
have
it.
so much
Tell it, Courtney.
power.
I need to know. I'm listening.
But we do. I mean, we have so much power.
Courtney knows how to smooth talk them.
So I need to know how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But we have so much power.
That's why it's hard to tell a man don't trust a big butt and a smile. Like, if just think about that. See, I know we listen to it, but that's insane. That's saying don't trust our beautiful women. Like, just go deep with it. Don't just stay on surface.
A big butt and a smile.
But if we're in that predicament where we don't trust our beautiful women,
yeah, they putting us against each other.
You trust us. You just don't trust
the power struggle. It's a whole bunch of.
I said I love the lady. What the hell with a hoe?
I mean, but who's making the hoes though? Who's
Y'all
making the hoes? I mean, yes. Granted, like women control access to vagina and men control access to marriage. We get that, right? And I forgot who said it earlier, but yes, we definitely. Oh wait, I think it was Avon that just spoke to that, and I said that before. It's so funny. Months ago, I posed that question, like, ladies, what if we were to create a code and conduct, a rule, a new standard for men to abide by when they approach us? And the general consensus was that we all operate so differently that there's no way to actually do that because everyone values themselves differently. So if I were to say anything, I would say, you know, we just got to really.
There is, though. There is. You have to have a standard and uphold that standard.
Of
and
course.
treat you accordingly. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. I don't have no guys approaching me like a hoe because I will
don't
not
either.
accept that.
Right. So that's the thing. So if you value yourself and you carry yourself like you value yourself and like you don't feel like you're going to be missing out on something just because you're not getting the attention or whatever.
Men will rise to the occasion.
Right.
If this is your standard, all right, if I want to talk to her, I got to come up to her standard.
Well, they will or they won't because it's if they like what Stage Talk, they got options. It's more
I
of
know
a
that's right, Kim.
Yeah, so like some of the men like the hoes.
If
like,
you don't want to
being
treat
called
me like a
hoes
lady,
for being easily accessible, we are.
If I require you to treat me like a lady and you don't want to, deuces. You can go talk to the girl that runs the world and men don't treat her right. Go for her. That's fine.
Right.
But you're not going to come at me with that energy. I will not allow it. If you don't treat me like a lady, you can move on. And I think the problem is if everyone had a higher standard, then men have to rise to the occasion, but women don't. They're like, oh, there's something easier. I'm just going to get that easy piece. Versus like, oh, women are just going to uphold the standard around the clock, around the board. We have to rise to the occasion now. But women aren't doing that. They're like, oh, okay.
Nope. And then women get mad at the women that do. Sometimes get mad at the women that do that. Like it's like, you know, you're being a pygmy or you're trying to show someone up or whatever, when at the end of the day it's like we literally are all in this crap together. Like we're really in this shit show together, like for real. Like
she just said the most important thing right there. She said basically we're at a point in our culture right now where when women are making active choices to not sleep around, to conduct themselves and to respect men, that's a derogatory behavior now.
It's offensive.
Yeah, the crazy part is that it's backed up by not just the community, but who's going to check them outside of the community, right? One of the, you seen the white girl that was, I don't know what song she was rapping, and she came out, everybody was like, oh my girl, this white girl is rapping this song, it's the greatest thing ever. Their allies, because they love using that word allies, their allies co-sign everything they do, no matter how toxic it is, because from the outside looking in, they feel like they can't critique anybody within the community, right? Like, so, because they got, if you say you had a brunch or whatever, right? And she take all her homegirls, there's a couple of white girls there. The white girls gonna be their biggest cheerleader when they up on the couch twerking because they think that's what black culture is. You go to Lollapalooza, you got some sample on the stage, repeating lyrics, telling us, I'm gonna F this B, I'm gonna sell this D. It's nothing but white folks in the crowd, man. It's nothing but white folks in the crowd. So they have no counterbalance at all to what they're doing. And if we say it's toxic and we see it's inappropriate, we're this toxic masculinity, or we're the ones that's out of date. Yeah, that's an uphill battle. You got an uphill battle. You got to fight with people because they legitimately believe that their negative and toxic behavior is in the right.
And it's not. And I think that to Logic's point earlier, he said that women's spirits need to be sheltered or protected. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And I think that starts with having the father in the home, because he will shelter you. He will protect you. He'll make sure nothing happens to you, almost like an umbrella. And then he wants to pass you on to that man that's going to protect you equally as he did. But because the men are in the homes, the fathers aren't teaching the daughters, and then there's no man to pass the woman to, so they kind of just got to be their own man.
No, but Kelly, they have to want to be protected. That's the thing. It's like in life is needs and wants.
I don't think it's a have to want to. It's I don't even know that that's what I need because I didn't see that growing up. That's a lot of women. They don't even know that they need to be protected.
And that's my point, that they have to understand that this is a necessity in life. They need that.
Right.
But now they look
I'm a
at it as an
solutions
option.
person. I'm a solutions person. How do we get that into the minds of women? Where does that happen?
My point ain't gonna change. I already told you. You ain't want to hear
Policies.
Policies.
We change the policies. They're gonna be stopping at the red light. No, hold up. Stopping at the red light, twerking on them headlights. I'm telling you, until we stop interacting.
Changing the policy.
Logic, I got one for you right off the bat.
So if a man impregnates a woman and he doesn't want to stay, he wants to leave and go still YOLO, live his best life, and not take care of the family he helped create, you think a policy will change that?
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have one right off the top of my head.
I don't think we got time to break it down. Because I mean,
I got one
earlier. I really did. I mean, if you go back and listen to it, I think I pretty much broke it down how them policies affects the behavior, everything, how you control the speed limit on the highway.
Are you asking me
the
police?
Policy.
I
The
can't tell
police?
if your question's rhetorical or not. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, how do you regulate the speed on a highway?
Tickets.
Police and speed limits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have people that will violate that, right? And if they violate it, what do they get for violating that?
A hefty ticket.
It's consequence. So now policies affects everything. We don't understand. Without policies is order. Without that order and policies, I'm telling you. But just imagine if we had our speed limits was 100 miles an hour. That policy is detrimental, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what's going to happen? Destruction, right? And then so that's what it's about. And I'm sorry. Hey, but look, my final thoughts.
No, you all good. No, you all good. I'm gonna speak on that.
Oh,
yeah. No, I want to speak on that real quick. Because in LA they have a healthy ticket, like red light camera ticket. And when I received that in the mail, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that I don't get that ticket. It ain't like Chicago. Chicago, what the speed light tickets? What was it? 75, 120, something like that. What is it, David?
And for your music.
50. Well, no, 75 now.
75. 75.
Yeah, 75 now.
Yeah, if I can remember, I think the ticket might have been like $400, $500, something like that. And like the ticket came from the front. It wasn't from the back. It was from the front. So even though I seen it yellow turning red, it flashed from across the street on the left angle. And I'm like, okay, damn. Okay, they got me. The ticket came in the mail. Actually, the ticket went to B. Nix. And then B. Nix sent it to me. I was just like, God damn. I said, I bet you ain't nobody in LA running fucking lights. I mean, once they see the yellow, they stop it and it kind of just regulated you differently. And so when I hear you guys speak on about, kind of strengthening these laws and putting laws into place and making the consequences a little bit rough, it'll make you think. It will definitely make you think, because right now I'm making sure anytime I'm in LA, I am not running any lights. If I see that thing, I'm looking. If I see any bit of yellow, I'm just going to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see, Kelly telling us to talk to the people about not speeding. It's important about not speeding. Let's put these car accidents up so they can not speed.
No, that's not what Kelly
and I'm telling you, yes,
that's not what Kelly. So when you get a DUI, when you get a ticket, your points go down. You're required to take a course to learn how to drive better if you want your points to go back up. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, but see, in certain states that you get speeding tickets, right? And you go to that little course where it's a money grab. You go to the course and you pay money, and it's like it never happened, right? And then people can pay out of actually have to act, you know what I'm saying? Because if anybody know, if you get too many speeding tickets and it started affecting your insurance. See, all these rules are in place to regulate stuff.
So for me, I got a reckless driving ticket, and after I had to do community service and take a course, like it was a speed trap. It wasn't. I wasn't really recklessly driving, but I had to take this course. Yes, really. So I had to take this course, and I learned about all these different things that I didn't know. And once I got the information and the education, I made changes. I haven't had a speeding ticket since.
Yes, so, what really got you is they hit your pockets.
No, it was the community service, and
you had to pay for the course. The course wasn't free, and you still had to pay for that ticket or whatever. And some states kind of include it together. But the thing is, it's consequences. If you have something that is no consequence for, you're encouraging that type of behavior. That's why we have laws, policies. That's why we have everything. If you see something in America that's unregulated, like the shit that's in our relationship, and it's regulations that support the bad side of it, they're just like, hey, you get caught speeding. Hey, I'm gonna send you $200. You know how many people gonna be speeding? They're gonna be people just gonna be going crazy because you're incentivizing that behavior. It's the same thing with everybody else. And it's not necessarily just regulating it, it's remove the policies that's destroying it. And I appreciate the audience and everybody for having this policy conversation. I'm a big political. I like politics. I like
just a bit.
Logic, I got one for you right off the bat, bro.
No, I'm gonna put all these women to the test.
I got you how you read these super chats real quick.
Okay, I'm going. All
right. All right.
AL, you skipped my last super chat. Oh, maybe we didn't see it. Apologies. Keith Covey, it takes the whole village to see the truth. F the government. GRA 631. What Black women don't understand is we witnessed as young men the colossal L's our fathers and mentors took in the 80s and 90s at home and in the courtroom. Unfortunately, Black women, Jayda and Ari, are Gen Z Black women's biggest role models. They make Black women believe if you get what the hood do, turn rapper and have a baby, they're good. Facts. Men lead the family. Women are the glue to the family. I understand the options are available, but we will have to be willing to make the option the best for the community. Forget what the government says. That's Quentin Kelly. Thank you for that. AL, the most influential young women with platforms today, strippers and the men are dope boys. Even Biden knew that and put out a stripper campaign video. Johnny, let's stop pretending that Black women were different in the 80s and 90s when they were singing along to 2 Live Crew in that time period. Okay,
don't
Johnny.
Stop, get it, don't stop.
Herm's a dick. KS, the high value man, was living in a boarding house with a leaky car 2 years ago. As a man in his 50s, he lied about many things. Age included. Week later, no funeral. Damn. Gemini is sadly, women are agreeable. Someone is going to listen, and women are the teachers on the next generation. So we're going to continue to fall. Yikes. Cancel. Courtney selling pics now. Yes, get you a subscriber, boo.
I'm thinking about doing an OnlyFans.
Yeah, let's not forget the first Freaknik started in '83. Truth Table, stop the cap. Women don't be wanting the treatment of a man. They want the amenities of a man. Gary Grant, it is very simple to change the behavior of these women. Government daddy, stop supporting these women for not being responsible for their bad choices. Is that all of them? Mad Max, I see we are having the discussions, but nobody's talking about where things went wrong. Don't just mention it. Speak on it. What is was it really a war on drugs or black men? Many black men in prison wrongfully accused. That's true, Mad Max. Jordan Smith, the first step needs to be black women need to stop choosing street dudes over good guys. I mean,
let me say something, because like Ava said that, you know, good guys or good women are relative. Don't men understand that some good guys have been assholes to other women? Just because, I mean, I don't understand that. That's the dumbest. People don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with you.
That whole idea and an asshole to another, it's relative. So
It's
what
a
do they mean
thousand.
by a good guy?
Yeah, it's 1,000 men laid up with women who think that dude is like the moon and the stars, and his ex thinks he's the worst dude to ever come out of somebody's
and vice versa.
Real talk.
One person's trash is another person's treasure. Same concept.
So I just had to say that because that really annoys me. You're with a street guy and you need a good man. Well, just because he wears a suit and tie doesn't make him a good man.
And just because he's a street guy, don't mean he's a bad one.
I just
what?
Like
I mean, street guy. I mean, not necessarily
that, but some street guys stand on codes, morals. They're not always slinging. They could be in a hood by a street guy. You know what I mean?
No,
just because that's their circumstance. Not necessarily.
People tend to judge folks on how they look. And so someone walking around in a suit is considered a good guy. Someone walking in Tim's and a fitted could be a street guy. You know, he might be doing construction. Doesn't mean that man is not a good man just because he physically doesn't fit the criteria of a white collar man. So that just annoys me. I
think it has to.
He's a good man because he's not what.
It's character.
So the average black man said, how about this? Black women start holding other black women accountable because y'all don't listen to us. There's a solution. I agree. And black men, I mean, that we should all hold our fellow genders accountable. The solution.
I'm sorry. Just because you super chat don't mean you can't get removed. Let me be very clear.
Bang bang. At the Blue Channel, child support for in wedlock births only. That's a start. T.I. Courtney's everything. Go ahead, Courtney.
Oh, just because you super chat, I'm finna remove that.
Conspiracy said, shout out to Uncle KS. Sorry I never got to at least shake his hand.
All right, that's all the super chat, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, lady. Sage Talk with Lee is about to ready to go live in about 5 minutes, so make sure you guys transition. That link is pinned to the top of the chat right now. Again, for those that haven't seen, choose better black men. You got options. I have no idea where Lee is going. I said that earlier, so make sure you guys tap in. I know I should be tapped in as well. And meet us over there. We're transitioning these conversations over to Sage Talk with Lee.
Make sure y'all come over there.
Thank you guys for all your support. Make sure you guys hit the like button.
Curls need to send me some of that juice for my bird, baby.
So the sugar curls?
Yeah, I'll put some juice in my bird. It's beautiful mane I got going.
All right, ladies and gents, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all's perspectives today. Thank you guys. And for some of y'all, I know I'll see y'all over on the other side. And if I don't see y'all, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday.
Right on, Jayda.
That song to end us off.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead, sing.
FREE, fuck nigga free, mean ain't got a word about a fuck nigga cheat. At the red light, twerking on them headlights.
That dude Logic ain't shit.